Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet.
Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into a time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
This is going to be a fun episode on this Monday edition of the program with 2 hours of comedy, including the adaptation by the Ford Theater of The Horn Blows at Midnight, starring Jack Benny. Also a full hour with the new Edgar Bergen Hour with Charlie McCarthy, Mortimer Snerd, the whole bunch, and an episode of The Adventures of Archie Andrews. That's all coming up on this Monday. And this happens to be the 4th day of March. This used to be Inauguration Day up until 1937. This is the 64th day of the year, 302 days remaining until we get to 2025. Now, it was on this date explorer Christopher Columbus arrived back in Lisbon, Portugal in 1495 aboard his ship the Nina from his discovery voyage to America. Now, in 1681, Charles II of England granted a land charter to William Penn for an area that later would become Pennsylvania. In 1778, the Continental Congress voted to ratify both the Treaty of Amity and Commerce and the Treaty of Alliance with France, the two treaties the first entered into by the U.S. government. That was in 1778. 1789 in New York, the first Congress met and declared the new Constitution of the U.S. was in effect. Happy birthday, Vermont. In 1791, they were admitted as the 14th state of the Union. 1794, the 11th Amendment to the Constitution passed by Congress, dealing with each state's sovereign immunity in regards to federal lawsuits. Now, in 1797, the first ever peaceful transfer of power between elected leaders in modern times, John Adams sworn in as president, succeeding George Washington. 1814, Americans defeated the British at the Battle of Longwoods between London and Thamesville near present-day Wardsville, Ontario. 1837, Chicago became incorporated as a city. Happy birthday, Chicago. In 1902, the American Automobile Association founded AAA in Chicago. 1917, Jeanette Rankin of Montana became the first female member of the House of Representatives. 1925, Calvin Coolidge became the first president of the U.S. to have his inauguration broadcast on radio. In 1929, Charles Curtis became the first Native American vice president. In 1933, Franklin Delano Roosevelt's first inaugural address featured a phrase designed to bring the nation out of malaise and depression.
Let me assert my firm belief that the only thing we have to fear is fear itself. Nameless, unreasoning, unjustified terror, which paralyzes needed effort to convert retreat into advance.
Now, President Roosevelt's first inauguration would be the last, held on March 4th. In 1933, on that same date, Frances Perkins became Secretary of Labor, the first female member of the cabinet. In a quiet, simple ceremony on this date in 1952, two Hollywood actors were married. They would stay together until his death in 2004. They appeared together in only one motion picture. Here's a scene from that picture. Can you guess who they are?
You knew I was fresh out of a bad marriage when we met. I wanted to be sure this time, so we played it safe. Until I knew that you were Mr. Right. Then you gave me that line about wartime marriages.
I wanted a wife and kids, not a widow and orphans.
Sure. And I began to think maybe you were playing the South Sea Circuit.
You knew better.
The movie, the 1957 World War II submarine movie titled Hellcats of the Navy. The woman was billed as Nancy Davis. The man, the future governor of California and 40th president of the United States, Ronald Reagan. Ronnie and Nancy married on this date in 1952. President Reagan's death in 2004 ended what Charlton Heston called the greatest love affair in the history of the American presidency. In 1962, the Atomic Energy Commission announced the first atomic power plant at McMurdo Station in Antarctica was in operation. In 1964, the Teamsters Union had Jimmy Hoffa convicted in Chattanooga, Tennessee, of attempted bribery of a grand juror and was sentenced to 8 years. After the sentence was handed down, Hoffa fiercely proclaimed his innocence to reporters.
I have been sentenced. I will appeal. I am not guilty. And I say to the millions of members of organized labor, have heed, because those who fight for you and fight to win will find that out of this conviction, the zeal of Attorney General Robert Kennedy will be to destroy you unless you give in.
Now, Richard Nixon would commute Hoffa's sentence in 1971, but terms of the pardon forced him to stay out of union activities until 1980. Well, Hoffa disappeared in late July of 1975, hasn't been heard from since. He is presumed dead. That was his age at the time was 62. Now, the Food and Drug Administration on this date in 1985 approved a blood test for AIDS used since then for screening all blood donations in the U.S. In 1987, in a nationally televised address, President Reagan expressed regret over the Iran-Contra affair.
A few months ago, I told the American people I did not trade arms for hostages. My heart and my best intentions still tell me that's true, but the facts and the evidence tell me it is not.
In the speech, the president took full responsibility for the action of those involved. 1997, President Clinton banned federally funded human cloning research. 1998, the Supreme Court ruled that federal laws banning on-the-job sexual harassment also applied when both parties were the same sex. And in 2005, Martha Stewart released after 5 months in prison for insider trading. The homemaking guru spoke to reporters after her release.
My favorite thing is lemons. And people make jokes about making lemons into lemonade, but I actually really like lemons. And these are my first lemons in 5 months, and I'm really looking forward to having some hot lemonade when I get back in the house.
Stewart served an additional 5 months of home confinement and probation after that. Passing away on this date in history, the pioneer of the Chisholm Trail, Jesse Chisholm, comedian John Candy, comedian Minnie Pearl. Howdy. The Village People's Glenn Hughes, politician Harold Stassen, and from 90210 in Riverdale, Luke Perry. Now, those who are no longer with us who were born on this date include composer Antonio Vivaldi, football player and coach Newt Rockne, actress Pearl White, from the Three Stooges, Shemp Howard, also bridge player and writer Charles Gorin, musician Paul Moriat, the wonderful Love is Blue, journalist, TV host Wally Bruner. And if you haven't seen him on What's My Line, it was an interesting take. He didn't quite have what John Charles Daly did, but he did okay. Journalist, TV host, also singer-actress Barbara McNair, singer Bobby Womack, and Bobby Christina Brown, the daughter of Whitney Houston and Bobby Brown, who died at the age of 22 of pneumonia. All those folks born on this date in history.
Hi, this is Jeff Foxworthy. It is now time for the birthday announcements. The following people are now officially older than dirt.
There was a delightful show, He and She, with Richard Benjamin and Paula Prentice. Paula Prentice and Richard Benjamin have been married since 1961. Talk about your Hollywood marriages. Paula Prentice turns 86 today. Mrs. Bill Gaither, Gloria Gaither, is 82 today. Chris Ray, fool if you think it's over, 73 years old today. From Second City Television and Beetlejuice, Catherine O'Hara is 70. He was Johnny Nogarelli in the original Grease movie. Adrian Zemed is 70. From Everybody Loves Raymond, Patricia Heaton is 66. And from Desperate Housewives, Andrea Bowen is 34. Those just a few of the people who celebrate the 4th day of March as their birthday. If this is your birthday,
happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
All right. righty, let's get rolling here. We got a couple of good hours coming up here. Starting off from 75 years ago today, March 4th, 1949, the Ford Theater and their adaptation of the Jack Benny motion picture, The Horn Blows at Midnight. That's coming up next on this Monday. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
If you are planning a new building, the architect can make inexpensive changes in his design to shield against the dangers of radioactive fallout. This technique is called design slanting, which simply means designing for added fallout protection without adversely affecting the use, appearance, or cost of a building. To learn more about slanting, contact your local Civil Defense Director.
And yes, I'll mention again, civildefensemuseum.com. An interesting site to see some of the things that were dealt with in that era. civildefensemuseum.com. Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, we're going to go back 75 years. March 4th, 1949, for the first part of the Ford Theater presentation of The Horn Blows at Midnight, starring Jack Benny.
Herewith, Mr. Jack Benny in a highly unusual fantasy about an angel who was sent down from higher places to destroy the earth. A story which contains more than first meets the ear. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Bentley finally got here, and tonight we present him with Mr. Claude Rains in, of all things, The Horn Blows at Midnight. This is the Ford Theater.
Welcome to a full hour of the finest dramatic entertainment with celebrated stars of Broadway and Hollywood. Presented by the Ford Motor Company, builder of Ford cars, Ford trucks and farm tractors, Lincoln and Mercury cars, including the new 1949 Lincoln Cosmopolitan, America's most distinctive fine car, unrivaled for superb performance and luxurious appointments. Now, to introduce this evening's program, here is the director of the Ford Theater, Fletcher Markle.
Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, all disputes, all threats, pleadings, persuasions, and all kidding aside, we're proud and pleased to welcome to the Ford Theater one of the great comedians of the world, Mr. Jack Benny. And co-starring with Mr. Benny in the long-heralded Horn Blows at Midnight, we're very happy to have with us one of the most accomplished actors of Broadway and Hollywood, Mr. Claude Rains. This is the second program, by the way, in our Festival of Smiles, which concludes next week with Mr. Bing Crosby. The theme of the Warner Brothers picture on which tonight's broadcast is based caused much comment when it was released some seasons ago. Being a fantasy having to do with the destruction of the earth, the picture clearly raised a controversial issue. And we of the Ford Theater firmly believe that while a radio version of The Horn Blows at Midnight will not end any arguments, it will at least add zest to them. So come with us beyond the Earth's atmosphere, uncounted light years through space, to a place very high above us, the office of the Chief of the Small Planets, an important executive in the system of the universe. You'll be hearing Claude Rains as the Chief, with Mr. Benny as a minor angel named Nathaniel. And, of course, any similarity between these characters and any characters living is quite impossible. Mr. Benny, Mr. Rains and company, please to begin.
Horatio, I tell you, something has to be done about it. Here it is, 1949, and that dreadful little planet is worse off than it ever was. What's the name of it again?
Number 33974. It is called Earth.
Oh, yes, nasty little globe. It's always given me trouble, but now it's absolutely out of hand. 2 world wars, persecution, hatred everywhere. Greed, intolerance, bloodshed. I'm just about fed up.
What are you going to do, Chief?
I'm going to destroy it, Horatio. I'm going to wipe it off the face of the... I'm going to destroy it.
Without any warning?
Well, the front office has warned them often enough. Quakes, floods, droughts, plagues, everything. But they pay no attention. Those Earth people aren't satisfied with making a mess of their own planet. Why, they're even working on rockets to get to the moon.
What do they want up there, Chief?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe they're overloaded with Ritz crackers, and they believe that stuff about the moon being made of green cheese. I'll buzz for Elizabeth, my secretary. I'm going to settle this once and for all.
Did you ring, Chief?
Yes, come in, Elizabeth. I want you to take down some notes. I'm destroying one of the smaller planets, and I want you to send copies to the recording angel.
Uh-oh.
What's the matter?
It won't make a hit with the recording department. They're swamped with work.
Oh, it's always something. What's their complaint?
Same old thing. Shortage of angel power. I'm drawing up a new personnel questionnaire.
Another one? More red tape. I never saw such incompetence, such inefficiency. You know, this place needs a few big businessmen to run things up here. We need them. And they better start letting them in. That's all I've got to say.
What planet are you destroying, Chief?
33974. It's called Earth.
Earth? Well, that was created rather hurriedly, as I remember.
Yes, it was a 6-day job. Practically slapped together. Well, I'm going to slap it apart.
How are you going to do it, Chief?
Well, usually our demolition expert descends, blows his horn, and poof.
Just poof?
Well, for some of the larger jobs, it's poof, poof. But this happens to be a one-poof planet. Anyway, our demolition expert is busy on another assignment, and I'll have to find someone else. Elizabeth, who would you suggest?
What about Nathaniel?
Nathaniel? That nincompoop? That blundering nitwit?
He's not a nincompoop, and he's not a nitwit either. And you shouldn't call him those names, Chief. Remember, he's an angel.
Some angel. I don't see how he ever got his wings. Elizabeth, what do you see in him anyway?
Well, he's sweet and kind and understanding, and he plays the trumpet beautifully.
That's right. He does play, doesn't he?
He's been 455th trumpet in the Ethereal Philharmonic Orchestra for over 300 years.
Then he certainly ought to be able to blow the horn. Go fetch him, Elizabeth.
I will, Chief, immediately. He's rehearsing with the orchestra now.
Nathaniel, please. Once again, gentlemen, and all together this time. Nathaniel, step up here, please.
Yes, Mr. Beethoven. What is it, sir?
For 120 years I've been conducting this orchestra. And for 120 years you've been playing the wrong notes. Why? Tell me why.
Well, it's a hard number and it takes practice. I'm sure I'll get it if you'll just be patient a little while longer.
A little while longer?
Yeah, besides, what's the rush? We're not going anywhere.
What has that got to do with it? We've got 10,000 men in this orchestra, 9,999 musicians, and you.
Huh?
Why did you have to take up the trumpet? With lips like yours, you should be a glass blower.
A glass blower? Gee, I tried that when I was on Earth. And one day, instead of blowing, I inhaled. Then I had to walk around with a sign on my back marked fragile.
Look, Nathaniel, I don't care what happened to you on Earth. I only care what happens to me up here. Now go back to your place, and please don't be flat.
But, Mr. Beethoven, the music says B flat, doesn't it?
That doesn't mean you should be flat. That means play B flat.
Oh, I wish I'd have known that 100 years ago. Could have saved so much trouble. All right, Mr. Beethoven, I promise you.
Nathaniel!
Huh? Oh, hello, Elizabeth.
I have wonderful news for you. The chief wants to see you.
The chief? Is there something wrong? What do I do now?
Oh, Nathaniel, don't be silly. You couldn't do anything wrong.
Oh, no? If you don't think so, stay around and listen to him play the trumpet. It's better he should have the mute in his mouth.
I don't use a mute. I use a derby. Gee, Elizabeth, I'm so excited. Imagine the chief wanting to see me. How do I look?
Fine, fine.
I'm so nervous. Is my halo on straight?
Oh, it's perfect. Now, come on. Don't keep him waiting.
All right. Will you excuse me, Mr. Beethoven?
With pleasure. All right, gentlemen. Now we can play.
Elizabeth, it's been so long since I've seen the chief. I want to know how to act.
Just be yourself, and don't let him frighten you. If he seems gruff, it's only because he's terribly busy, like all the other deputy chiefs. He has billions of small planets to look after.
I know. What a job that must be, keeping them in their own orbits. Well, we're almost there, and I'm so nervous.
Hello, Elizabeth! Hello, Nathaniel!
Hello, Paul! Yeah, it's a beautiful horse Mr. Revere rides. I wonder why he still carries those 2 lanterns.
Nathaniel, you can ask him later. We haven't got time now. The chief is waiting.
Horatio, you may not realize it, but getting rid of the Earth will be a big help in balancing the budget. Think of all the rain and snow we'll save.
Yes, that is an item.
And don't forget the thunder and lightning that little planet uses up. Why, we'll cut our electric bills in half. And, by the way, Horatio, remind me to talk to Halley about his comet. There's no point to its traveling around the Earth anymore.
Yes, Chief. Oh, here comes Elizabeth with Nathaniel.
Yeah, about time. Let him in.
Here's Nathaniel, Chief.
Yeah, I know. He hasn't changed a bit. Oh, well. Nathaniel, how long have you been up here?
300 years, Chief. I'm from New Amsterdam, you know.
What's your rank?
Angel, junior grade, 3rd phalanx, 15th cohort.
Still junior grade, eh? I don't know why I sent for you.
Was it possibly about changing my rank, sir?
No, I see no reason for demoting you.
Thank you, Chief.
I've been going over your record, and it's not too bad. It says here, deportment B, application B, virtue A, mentality. Well, this job doesn't require a genius anyway. You'll do.
Do what, sir? Do what?
Destroy planet number 33974.
33974? Why, that's Earth, my home planet. What will all the people do without it? Where will they live?
Well, some of them will come up here, and some of them will go to the other place. We have no time for sentiment.
But, Chief, why are you destroying the Earth?
Why? Simply because there's been nothing but trouble there. Now that the Second World War is over, it's in a bigger mess than it ever was. No peace, no harmony, no cooperation. If they want to end civilization, I'll end it for them. Elizabeth?
Yes, Chief?
See to Nathaniel wears his proper clothes for a visit to the Earth. You can attend to all that.
Yes, I will, Chief.
Gee, it'll be nice wearing buckled shoes and long stockings again. I still have good-looking legs, you know.
Nathaniel, men's styles have changed on Earth since you were there 300 years ago.
They have? Women's, too?
Oh, yes, many times. But now they have the new look, and they're right back to where they used to be.
Oh. Well, don't men wear long stockings anymore?
Oh, no. But don't worry, Nathaniel. Your knees will be covered. You'll wear long trousers.
Why can't I just wear my toga? I'm so used to it now.
Because, my dear Nathaniel, we don't want you to be conspicuous. You've got an important job to do.
Oh. Well, Chief, how do I go about destroying the Earth?
Horatio, hand me that horn.
Yes, Chief. Here you are, sir.
Now, Nathaniel, you simply blow 4 notes of the Judgment Day Overture on this horn, and that will be the end of the Earth.
Gee, it's the most beautiful trumpet I've ever seen.
It is not a trumpet.
Oh.
It's a very special kind of horn. Now listen carefully to these instructions. You'll proceed to New Amsterdam.
It's called New York now, Chief.
Oh, New York, then. Mercurius will arrange for your transportation. You will then check into the Waldorf-Biltmore Hotel, and a few minutes before midnight, you will go to the roof.
Yes, sir.
Now, this is very important, Nathaniel. The horn must be blown at midnight sharp.
Yes, sir.
Remember, that means precisely 12. 11:59 won't do. 12:01 won't do. It must be 12 on the dot. Got that?
Yes, sir. I'll see that the horn blows at midnight. Leave it to me.
All right, now get going. If you do a good job, when you come back, you may find yourself an Angel senior grade.
Me, an Angel senior grade? That means a raise in my base pay. God.
But if you botch the job, you'll be back scrubbing clouds for the next 500 years.
Yeah, I hope not. My knees are still wet. But don't worry, Chief. I won't botch it. I'll make good.
That's the spirit. Now, are you ready to,
The interplanetary phone, Chief.
Department of Small Planets. Chief speaking.
This is the salvage department. Any instructions, Chief?
Yes. Stand by to pick up a load of scrap at midnight. That'll be all, Nathaniel. Are you sure you remember everything?
Don't worry, Chief. I won't forget a thing. Goodbye.
Wait a minute. Come back here. You forgot the horn.
Oh, that's because I'm so excited. Well, goodbye, Chief.
Goodbye. Elizabeth, you stay with him until he leaves. See that he gets away in time.
Yes, Chief. Come along, Nathaniel. I'll walk you to the edge. going to miss you, Nathaniel.
You are, Elizabeth?
Yes.
Well, I'll only be gone about...
Hello, Nathaniel.
Oh, hello, Noah.
Going away?
Yes, but I'll be home tomorrow.
Well, when you get back, drop in. I'm having a little gathering in the Ark.
In the Ark?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good, good. Who's coming over?
Oh, just a few couples.
Oh, well, thanks. Thanks very much. I'll see you later. Da-da-da-ding, da-da-da-ding. What are we talking about, Elizabeth?
I said that I was going to miss you.
Oh, well, I'll only be gone one night, and then I'll come back, and we can spend the next 100 years together. Just talking about my trip. Gee, these Earth clothes are funny. What do you call this again?
That's a vest.
And is this a doublet?
No, that's a coat.
Oh. But what is this label? I wouldn't want to wear someone else's clothes. Who are Hart, Scheffner, and Mark?
Don't worry, Nathaniel. And by the way, I'd better give you some money. Here.
What are these? Guilders?
No, these are dollar bills.
Oh. Well, I wouldn't know about that. Gee, they feel nice and crispy.
And these are $5 bills.
Oh, I like these better. They feel even nicer and crispier. Look at the pictures on them. George is on one, and Abe is on the other.
Yes. Yes, you'll need them, Nathaniel. And now you'd better go.
I'm on my way, Elizabeth.
Nathaniel! Nathaniel!
Oh, that's the chief.
Gosh, I hope he isn't calling me back.
Nathaniel, I'm glad I caught you before you left. There's one very important thing I forgot to tell you.
What is it, Chief?
Before you blow that horn, be sure to check with Petrillo. I don't want any trouble with him.
Oh, I will, Chief. I will. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, Nathaniel.
Goodbye.
Watch that first step. It's a pip.
I will. I will. See you tomorrow.
You're listening to the Ford Theater, which tonight is bringing you Jack Benny, starring in The Horn Blows at Midnight with Claude Rains. A brief pause now before Act Two, and some timely hints on car values from Frank Martin.
There's an exciting time in store for many of you in the coming week that can make a world of difference in the pride and enjoyment you get out of motoring. That's the time which your Lincoln dealer invites you to spend behind the wheel of a new 1949 Lincoln Cosmopolitan, America's most distinctive fine car. And in just a few miles, you'll discover why the Lincoln Cosmopolitan has no rival. You'll see at first glance that here is an automobile truly distinctive, exclusive in its styling with lines and looks that lift it apart from every other car on the road. You'll recognize as you sink back into the soft foam rubber cushion seats that no other car offers a more luxurious interior, more elegant interior refinements. You'll feel rich custom upholstery. You'll discover unhampered visibility through the huge one-piece windshield of curved safety glass that is almost 5 feet wide. You will whisk the windows up and down at the mere touch of a button. And as you drive this outstanding 1949 Lincoln Cosmopolitan, you will discover performance that you have never before known in a fine car. For the great new Lincoln V-Type 8 engine is unsurpassed for dependability, economy, and efficiency. It's so powerfully smooth, so thrillingly quiet, so effortless in its range of acceleration. You can't believe it until you drive the new Lincoln Cosmopolitan. In all the world, there is no other fine car so beautifully new, so thoroughly owner-proven, so superbly engineered as this new 1949 Lincoln Cosmopolitan. Yet it costs very, very little more to own than an ordinary car. Take just a few minutes in the coming week, or even better, tomorrow, to accept your Lincoln dealer's invitation to meet this superb 1949 automobile, the new Lincoln Cosmopolitan. You know you're driving America's most distinctive fine car, and so does the rest of the world when you drive the new 1949 Lincoln Cosmopolitan.
And that's the first part of The Horn Blows at Midnight, the Ford Theater presentation from 75 years ago, March 4th, 1949. Take a quick break here, and we'll be back with more of The Horn Blows at Midnight on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
Civil defense is common sense. This is Joni James. After nuclear attack, radioactive fallout will be a potential threat to every living thing. You can't hear or smell or taste fallout. Often you can't see it, so you must take shelter and stay there until told it's safe to leave.
Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Back to The Horn Blows at Midnight, March 4th, 1949.
Now again, Fletcher Markle.
And here's the second act of The Horn Blows at Midnight, starring Jack Benny as Nathaniel with Claude Rains as the chief of the small planet. Now, Nathaniel, having arrived in New York City, is strolling down Broadway with the horn tucked under his arm. Since it was 300 years ago that he last saw this famous street, it's small wonder that he marvels at the changes.
So this is New York. I wonder why they changed the name. Look at that sign over there. Baseball today. Boston Red Sox and New York Yankees. Well, I guess it does sound better than New Amsterdam Yankees. Gosh, this place certainly is built up. I wish Peter Stuyvesant could see it. How they laughed when we bought Manhattan Island for $24. I bet we could double our money now. My, what big buildings. I never saw so many horseless carriages. Look at those yellow ones. See, they go around the corners on two wheels. I wonder if they could...
Get back on the curb, you jerk! You wanted to kill?
No, thank you, not again. The records would be all mixed up.
Hey, mister, you better wait for the light to change before you cross the street.
Light? Light to change?
Sure. You must be a stranger. Ain't you never been in New York before?
Oh, yes. I come from New York, but I've been away for a long time.
Say, that's a good-looking trumpet you got there. Yeah. How about giving us a little bebop?
Bebop?
Yeah. It's that bebop-a-rebop.
Bebop? Is that music?
Is it? It's out of this world.
Well, that's where I've been, and I've never heard of it. Bebop-a-rebop. Huh?
What band are you with?
Beethoven's Ethereal Melodians. It's a very fine orchestra. 10,000 pieces.
10,000? Gee, they must sound louder than Spike Jones.
Spike who?
Jones. Didn't you ever hear him play All I Want for Christmas Is My Two Front Teeth?
No, but it sounds like a very interesting selection. I'll suggest it to Mr. Beethoven.
Beethoven, huh?
Yes, I play 455th trumpet. I've been playing it for nearly 300 years.
Hey, Johnny, this guy must be a little utsnay, like a fruitcake. What's your name, Methuselah?
No, but I know him very well. In fact, I went to his birthday party last month, and he had the biggest cake. Took us 2 weeks to blow out the candles.
Hey, Jerry, let's get out of here before the wagon backs up. Yeah. Well, so long, Grandpa. Give my regards to Beethoven.
I will. Look at them run away. They were nice youngsters, though. You know, people aren't so bad down here. My, the streets are certainly crowded here in New York. Look at all those men and women going into that theater. Hamlet by William Shakespeare. Good old Bill. Wait till I tell him about this. He'll be so happy to know he's finally got a hit. Gee, look at all the saloons on this street. I wonder what kind of a drink television is. I don't remember it. What's that big bird doing up there in the sky? So noisy, too. Spelling out something. I.J. Fox. Must be a store up there. No, that would be impossible.
There he is, officer. That's him.
Oh, yes. Well, I'll handle him, kid. Hey, you there. You with the horn.
Huh? Were you speaking to me?
Yeah. Well, I understand you've been playing that trumpet you got there for the last 300 years.
Yes, sir. I'm with Beethoven's Ethereal Melodians.
Oh, you are, eh? Well, what's your name?
Nathaniel, 3rd Phalanx, 15th Cohort.
Uh-huh. And exactly how old are you?
355. Of course, I tell everyone up there that I'm 339. I'm really 355.
Oh, naughty, naughty, you're a bad boy.
Well, it's only a white lie. You know, I just can't get over how this town has changed, and the people, too. Where are the Indians?
In Cleveland. Yeah, Bob Hope's got him now.
Bob Hope?
Sure, the big radio comedian. Don't tell me you've never listened to Hope.
No, what did he say?
Now, would you mind if I ask you...
Look. I may be wrong, but I think that's the spot right there.
Huh?
The place where I was killed 300 years ago.
You were what?
I was killed here 300 years ago. I was run over by a cow. I really was. A hit-and-moo driver. You know, Mr. Beethoven gets mad when I tell jokes like that. But it was my own fault, you know. I shouldn't have been out so late.
Yes, well, look,
Nathaniel, 3rd Phalanx, 15th Cohort.
Yeah. Look, Nathaniel, when did they let you out?
A little while ago.
Well, you're going back, aren't you?
Oh, of course. I just have to blow a few notes on this horn tonight, and then I'll return immediately.
Oh. Well, why wait till tonight? Why not blow the horn now?
Oh, I couldn't do that. You see, the chief said it wouldn't work unless it was exactly midnight on the dot.
The chief said that, eh?
Yes, sir.
Oh. Well, I guess there's no harm in letting you run along. But you'll remember to go right home as soon as you blow the bugle.
Oh, yes, I will. I certainly will. Just as soon as I blew it, I will. Well, goodbye. I'll see you later.
Oh, no, you won't.
If you've been good, I will. Goodbye. My, what a nice man.
Step right inside the store here, folks. The auction is about to begin. Now, friends, I have here in my hand a timepiece that is acknowledged all over the civilized world as the finest example of watchmaking that human hands can create. Why, friends, just look at this watch. Look at the solid 14-karat gold-type case.
Gold-type case?
The jewel die, consisting of 24 genuine artificial diamonds. The real synthetic alligator strap fit for a king's wrist.
Gee.
Ah, you like it, don't you? Well, I don't blame you, friends. Now, who'll start the bidding at $300? I'ma bid 300, 300, 300. Who'll say 300?
$1.
$1. I'm bid it out. All right, who'll make it $1.50? Why, friends, the movement alone is worth that much. Who'll say $1.50? $1.50. $1.50. Can anyone say $1.50?
I can say $1.50. $1.50. See, I said it.
So, to the intelligent-looking man with the horn for $1.50. Congratulations, sir. Here you are.
Thank you, sir.
Why, friend, you have a watch there that will last you 100 years.
100 years? What will I do with it after that? Oh, well, I'll think of something. I wonder where the Waldorf-Biltmore Hotel is. That's where I have to go. I better ask someone.
Watch Street, get your pipers here. Watch Street, read all about it.
I beg your pardon, but I'm...
A piper? You want a piper, mister?
Piper? What's a piper?
A paper.
No, thank you. But could you direct me to the Waldorf-Biltmore Hotel?
Oh, Shiny. It's 1 block down and 2 blocks to the right.
Thank you. I understand it's a lovely place.
At the best. I wouldn't live nowhere else.
Oh, then you live there?
Sure, I got the penthouse there. I just sell these papers for a hobby. My dad owns the 4-way cold tablets.
Oh. Well, if you have the penthouse, we'll be neighbors. I'll see you over there. That is, if you get home before midnight. Well, thanks again. Goodbye.
Goodbye. I don't know where they come from, but I always get them. Pipers, get your pipers here. Pipers.
Da-da-da-ding. Da-da-da-ding. Yeah, it was nice of him to direct me to the hotel. The Earth can't be so bad with people like him on it. I wonder if the chief isn't making a mistake. Maybe I shouldn't pull the... Oh, I didn't say it, Chief. I was just thinking. It's just that it seems such a pity. I mean, there's so many nice people. I'll do it, Chief. Don't worry, I'll do it.
You see, Elizabeth, he's weakening already. I told you he was the wrong one to send.
But, Chief, he'll do it. He said he would. He's on his way to the hotel now.
I've got a good mind to recall him and send someone I can rely on.
Oh, please, Chief, don't do that. Nathaniel's all right. It's just that he has such a soft heart.
Well, I should have sent an older angel. Nathaniel was only 339. Anyway, that's what he says.
But, Chief...
How he got to look like that in only 339 years, I'll never know. I'm worried, Elizabeth.
Oh, why don't you wait and see? I'm sure everything will be all right.
Better be. If that horn doesn't blow at midnight, I'll drop him out of the phalanx.
So this is the Waldorf Biltmore. My, what a beautiful hotel. Sure is crowded, too.
Paging Mr. Davis, Mr. Charles Davis. Paging Mr. Davis.
Paging Mr. Caesar. Mr. Caesar, please.
I'll take it, boy. Is that for Julius?
No, sir. Irving.
Oh, I don't know.
Paging Mr. Caesar. Mr. Irving Caesar.
Oh, fiddlesticks. I wanted to ask him how to get to the roof. So near midnight. I'll ask that man at the desk.
Boy, take this luggage up to 1023, huh? Oh, good evening, sir.
Good evening. Could you tell me how to get to the roof?
Why, yes, sir. You take that last elevator. It's an express.
Thank you. And, is that clock up there on the wall correct?
Yes, sir. It's exactly 10 minutes before midnight.
You're quite certain?
Oh, yes, sir. The sun rises and sets by that clock.
I'm afraid you've been misinformed, if you don't mind my saying so. See, the sun's movements are completely independent of this planet. However, I will accept the time as 11:51 p.m.
Thank you very much. I'm sure Western Union will be deeply grateful.
Oh, that's perfectly all right.
Are you stopping at the hotel, sir?
Yes, for a short time.
You staying overnight?
No, and neither are you. Well, goodbye.
Going up?
Yes, the roof, please. It's a lovely elevator you have here.
When you've seen one, you've seen them all.
I suppose so. Is your name Otis?
Yeah, how'd you guess? Otis J. Elevator, that's me.
I'm pleased to meet you. I'm Nathaniel, 3rd Phalanx, 15th Cohort. My, it's nice in here, so intimate and cozy.
It ain't so cozy when you have to stand in it all night long.
All night long?
Well, from 6 at night till 2 in the morning.
Really? Then I have good news for you. Tonight you're getting off at 12.
Hey, that's funny. The chief didn't tell me anything about it.
Well, he told me.
Well, I hope you're right. Here's the roof, sir.
Thank you. Da-da-da-dee. Da-da-da-dee. Yeah, I wish I could get that right. Da-da-da-dee. What a beautiful sight up here on the roof. And all the stars are out tonight. There's Jupiter, Mercury, and Venus. Hello, Venus. Gee, she's pretty. Well, it's only 5 more minutes till midnight. Better get ready to blow the horn. Here's a good place to stand, right near the edge. I think I'll... What's that? Is someone there? Why, it's a girl, and she's crying. Don't cry, miss. Whatever it is that's troubling you will be over very soon.
It'll never be over. Never. Never.
Oh, yes, it will, in just a couple of minutes.
Please go away. Let me alone, can't you?
But I assure you, you have absolutely nothing to worry about.
He doesn't love me. He's sending me away. Well, I won't go back home. I won't.
You can't very well go back home if you're not alive.
Not alive? Yes, of course. That's the answer. The only answer. It's Here now.
Well, I'm very happy to have been of service. Less than 2 minutes left.
I'll show him. I wonder what he'll say when I'm gone. Well, here goes. Goodbye, Andrew.
Wait, you mustn't. You mustn't jump.
Let me go. Let me go.
No, you can't.
Why not? It was your idea.
But suicide is a mortal sin.
You let go of me.
Be patient. Just a few more seconds.
No, I won't be talked out of it. Let me go.
You've got to listen to me now. There's very little time.
Hey, Peggy!
Andrew!
What? Who's this?
Oh, Peggy, darling. Hey, you get your hands off my girl.
Let go of me, mister. It's midnight. I've got to blow my horn.
I ought to jam it down your throat.
My horn?
Oh, let him go, Andrew. He didn't do anything.
Oh, Peggy, I've been such a fool. Can you ever forgive me? As soon as you left, I realized what a mistake I made. Oh, Peggy, I'll never let you go again, believe me.
Well, let go of me, then, and put your arms around her. Please, Andrew, it's midnight. I got to blow the horn.
Oh, Andrew, I'm so happy I could start crying all over again.
Look.
Not tonight, baby. We're going to celebrate. Come on.
Wait, give me back my horn.
Here you are, Bud. Catch.
Whoop! I missed it. It's falling all the way down the street. I won't have time to get it. What am I going to do? Now I'll never get to be an angel senior grade. What am I going to tell the chief? I couldn't help it, Chief. I couldn't help it. Give me another chance. Please, Chief, please. Just one more chance. I want to be a senior.
And that's Act Two of tonight's Ford Theater presentation of The Horn Blows at Midnight, starring Jack Benny with Claude Rains. Time out again very briefly, and Frank Martin speaking for the Ford Motor Company.
A gold medal is quite an impressive thing, particularly when it's awarded to the car chosen as the fashion car of the year. That gold medal has just been awarded to the 1949 Ford. Bearing out the judgment of millions of Americans, the Fashion Academy of New York, after examining all cars in all price ranges, picked the 1949 Ford as embodying all the essential qualities of good taste, modern design, and subtle harmony in line and color. Yes, the style experts have officially awarded the gold medal to the 1949 Ford for its beauty and advanced styling that set Ford apart in its field. And this recognition of Ford styling is not an accident. The 1949 Ford is the only completely newly designed car in its field. Ford engineers, designers, and stylists redesigned the Ford from roof to road, creating a completely new car to give you better, safer, easier driving. Truly modern motoring. And one basic part of that redesigning is Ford's new style, an advanced style that suits a truly advanced car. A style that expresses in steel and glass and chrome the power, comfort, safety, and solid roadability, the advanced performance of the new Ford. Back of every point of Ford styling, you'll find a good reason. More headroom, legroom, seat room, luggage room. More visibility, more safety, more comfort, more efficient performance. And above all, better, easier driving. The 1949 Ford, alone in its field, was completely redesigned to give you those things. And it does. The 1949 Ford is not just a remodeled pre-war car, but the most advanced car in its field, the truly modern, truly post-war car. You can tell how advanced 1949 Ford styling is by looking at a new Ford and then looking at other new cars of older style. But you won't know how truly advanced it is until you drive a 1949 Ford, until you take the wheel and feel the difference. Feel the big difference that Ford's advanced design makes. Why not ask one of your friends to let you drive his new Ford, or see your friendly Ford dealer? When you drive a Ford, you'll feel different. Drive a Ford and feel the difference. The Ford Theater presentation of The Horn Blows at Midnight will be resumed after a brief pause for station identification. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
And the conclusion of The Horn Blows at Midnight follows these messages on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
In case of enemy attack or grave national emergency, keep listening to your radio. The emergency broadcast system will immediately bring you official information and instructions. Stations will not give call letters, but will identify the area they're serving. So dial around till you find the right one in your area, and then follow the instructions given.
Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, the conclusion of The Horn Blows at Midnight, a presentation of the Ford Theater from 75 years ago, March 4th, 1949.
Fletcher Markle again, and now for the third act of The Horn Blows at Midnight, starring Jack Benny as Nathaniel and Claude Rains as the Chief.
Elizabeth, of all the angels who could have done the job, you had to recommend Nathaniel.
But, Chief, it wasn't his fault. Nathaniel was only trying to stop that poor girl from committing suicide, a mortal sin.
Well, that wasn't his job. He should have obeyed orders. There are too many people down there committing mortal sins. That's why Earth has to be destroyed.
Please, Chief, give Nathaniel another chance. After all, you've only lost one day.
I know, but Nathaniel has botched up every assignment I ever gave him. Remember 2 months ago when I put him in the weather department? All he had to do was to see that the clouds went in the right direction, and what happened? He got the elements so mixed up it snowed in California. Nathaniel, bah!
No, but, Chief, that was an accident. After all, he was new on the job, and he just didn't know.
Imagine snow in California. He knows very well it's not even supposed to rain there. That's where we keep our smog. No, Elizabeth, I have no alternative. Nathaniel must be recalled.
Chief, if you recall Nathaniel now, you'll destroy all his confidence. He tried so hard to make good. He was so happy at the chance to become an angel, senior grade. If you take that chance away from him, you'll break his spirit. And that's all he's got left. Oh, please, Chief, be just a little more patient with him, won't you?
Elizabeth, I don't know why I let you talk me into these things, but you always do.
Then you'll give Nathaniel another chance? Oh, thank you, Chief, thank you. You're so good and kind, and he'll be so grateful.
Well, you better blow that horn at midnight tonight, or else, and that's my last word, else, I'll thunder him his directions.
It certainly was nice of the Chief to give me another chance. Lucky this horn didn't break when it hit the street. I'll just have to make good tonight. Let's see, there's still a little time before midnight. Guess I'll sit here in the lobby for a while. Certainly is a busy hotel.
Paging Mr. Caesar, Mr. Irving Caesar, please.
Same one he paged yesterday. I'll have to ask Julius if he has any relatives down here. Julius is so nice. I think Brutus was definitely out of line. Well, I got about 15 minutes yet. Yeah, I hope nothing goes wrong this time.
Pardon me. May I sit down here?
Oh, why, certainly. Certainly, there's plenty of room.
Oh, thank you.
Whoops. Wait till I remove the horn. There you are.
Thank you. Isn't this a beautiful hotel?
Yes, it is.
I've had such a busy day. And you know, in about an hour, the limousine is coming back for me, and I have to go to a midnight supper at the Stork Club.
Really?
Yes, and then I'll have to go home and get some rest because tomorrow I have so much more to do. I'm going to Saks Fifth Avenue and buy a complete wardrobe for my trip to Honolulu.
Oh, you're going to Honolulu?
Oh, yes, I have to go. You see, I hit the giant jackpot on Singing Again, and I've been traveling ever since.
I don't understand.
And not only that, they painted my house inside and out, and it looks so strange now.
Oh.
I loved it the way it was.
Well, look, lady.
I'm Mrs. Watson.
Oh, how do you do, Mrs. Watson? My name is Nathaniel.
Nathaniel.
Third phalanx, 15th cohort.
Oh, I've never been there.
Oh, no, it isn't a place.
Paging Jack Benny. Mr. Jack Benny, please. Paging Jack Benny.
Mrs. Watson, what I meant to say...
Wait a minute. Did you hear that?
What?
They're paging Jack Benny.
Jack Benny?
Yes. Haven't you ever heard him on the radio?
Well, no.
I hope he's living in this hotel. I might see him. He's simply wonderful. I listen to him every Sunday, even though I can't win anything.
Oh, well, what does this
You know the thing I like about him?
What?
He pretends to be stingy and cheap, and I'm sure he's not that way at all.
He isn't?
No, I can tell just by listening to him that he's the sweetest, kindest, and the most generous man in the whole world.
Oh. Well, it's nice to know there are people like that.
And you want to know something? I almost met him a year ago.
You did?
Yes, I guessed he was the walking man, but they never called me on the phone.
Oh, that's too bad.
Well, I better wait out in front of the hotel now. The limousine will be coming any minute.
The limousine?
Yes, Governor Dewey is the one who has to take me to the Stork Club. That's part of the jackpot.
Oh. Well, goodbye, Mrs. Watson. It was nice talking to you.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Phalanx.
No. It's Daniel. 3rd Phalanx, 15th cohort. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Well, now, that was the sweetest old... Oh, my goodness. That nice old lady thinks she's going to Honolulu tomorrow. And I have to... Oh, no.
Look. Nathaniel is weakening. Who cares whether anybody goes to Honolulu or not?
He cares, Chief. He worries about everything. That's why he's so...
Stupid? That's what he is, stupid. I still say we sent the wrong angel.
No, you didn't, Chief. He still has time. He'll go through with it.
Then what's he sitting there for? Why doesn't he go up on the roof and get ready? Look what he's doing down there now, biting his nails.
Well, he's nervous.
Nervous about what? Destroying one of our smallest planets? It's ridiculous.
Well, warn him again, Chief, so he'll know it's almost midnight.
All right. I'll send him another thundergram.
Yes, Chief, I know. Well, I still got about 7 minutes. Gee, I hope nothing goes wrong this time.
Please don't, monsieur.
Huh? Oh, hello, little girl.
Hello.
Are you lost?
No, monsieur, I am not lost.
Oh, I thought the way you were looking at me, you wanted to ask me something.
No. You just seem so sad, sitting here all by yourself.
I am sad.
Why, monsieur?
Because of something I have to do at midnight. I'm worried about it.
Well, you mustn't worry. My mother told me, even when we were in the camp, not to be sad, because someday everything would be all right.
The camp? You were in...
A prison camp, monsieur, back in France.
Oh, I see. Did you do something wrong?
No, monsieur.
Well,
Would you like a piece of my candy bar, monsieur?
No, thank you. Although I haven't had a bite since I came down here. Except my nails.
Then please take a bite of this chocolate bar.
Well, thanks. What's your name?
Angelique.
Angelique? That means little angel in French.
Oui, monsieur.
You know, I'm an angel, too. I'm a big angel.
You are? What's your name?
Nathaniel, 3rd Phalanx, 15th cohort. What's your cohort?
I don't know. Je ne comprends pas.
Oh, then you haven't been in this country long?
No, we just came on the boat this morning from France.
Oh, and did you say you were in a prison camp?
Yes, me and my mama. For 3 whole years. Then the Americans came and got us out.
Oh. Well, where's your mommy and your daddy?
Well, my mama is right over there. But I don't know where my daddy is. He used to be a soldier.
Oh, well, Angelique, how is it that you speak English so well?
Mama has been teaching me a long time. 3 whole years.
3 years? I suppose that is quite a long time for a mortal. Especially such a small mortal. And you don't know where your father is?
No, monsieur. But Mama said he was the most wonderful man in the world. And we're all going to be together again someday. Angelique? Angelique! Ici, Mama. Here I am.
Oh, I was worried when I did not see you.
Oh, she's quite all right. We were just sitting here talking.
He is a very nice man, Mama.
Angelique, were you annoying this gentleman?
Oh, no, not at all. We had such a nice chat, and Angelique was telling me what a wonderful man her father is, and you're all going to be together again. Is he in New York?
No, monsieur. Angelique would not understand, but he was a great hero.
Oh, I see. And you just arrived from France this morning?
Yes. Tonight we are going to take the train to Chicago. We are going to live with relatives there. I have not seen them for over 10 years, but they have asked us to come to them.
Well, that will be nice. Then your little girl can grow up in a good home like... Oh. Uh-oh. Oh, my goodness. What am I saying?
You look sad again.
Yes, I just remembered something.
Mama, can I have another piece of candy?
Angelique, I just gave you a whole bar.
I know, but I offered to share it with this man, and he ate the whole thing.
Yes, I'm sorry. I just meant to take a bite. Yes.
Well, here's some money. You can buy another bar right over there.
Thank you, Mama.
You know, monsieur, Angelique does not know that her father is dead.
Yes, I realize that.
She's too young to understand. You see, she was just an infant when he was killed. Monsieur, you don't think there can be another war, do you?
Well, not if I... No, I don't think so.
Another war would mean the end of everything. There is not a country in the world that could go through it again. Not the way they fight wars now. People would just destroy each other.
They would?
Oh, yes, monsieur, yes. And yet it seems very simple for a lot of people to forget about a time of war. They do not want to remember. But we must remember, monsieur. All of us. And take care, or we will die for it. Now it is time for people to get to know each other. Now it is time for people to come together in the world.
But there's very little time left, you see.
I know, monsieur.
Oh. You do?
Of course. If we do not change ourselves soon, it will be too late. Though the war is over, there is much still not settled. It may take 5 years or even 10 years before we find the answer to real happiness and understanding. But we will find it, monsieur. We must now reach out to each other and find out about each other. By coming here, Angelique and I have a chance to do that. And we are grateful. We must find peace with each other, monsieur, or we are lost.
Yes, I'm sure you're right. But you see...
Mama, I have another candy bar. Would you like to share it with me, monsieur?
No, thank you. I've had enough.
Well, come on, Angelique. We must go. Goodbye, monsieur. Monsieur...
Nathaniel, 3rd Phalanx, 15th Cohort. Goodbye, Angelique.
Goodbye, monsieur.
Goodbye.
What a cute little girl. Spent 3 years of her life in a prison camp. Well, it's getting near midnight. Better take the elevator up to the roof.
Going up, sir?
Yes, the roof, please.
Well, here's the roof, sir.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Well, it's almost midnight. I'm sure glad it's a nice night. It's the last one. Keep thinking about that little girl, Angelique, and her mother. They seem so nice. All they wanted the chance to live together in peace. Maybe most people are good. Maybe the war has been a lesson. If that's true, then the Earth shouldn't be destroyed. Chief, do you think that I ought to go... But, Chief, you heard what she said, that little girl's mother. They've never had a chance before. Let them have it now while they... But, Chief, look, there must be millions of others just like them who need time to get to know each other. We have such hopes for the future. This is what Angelique's father gave his life for, to give other people a chance. And now you want to take it away from him. Chief, let's wait a while. Look, Chief, look. Now, suppose all these people down here don't get together. Suppose there is another war. Then the whole world will destroy itself. They'll blow the Earth to pieces. And then remember, Chief, that would take the responsibility off your shoulders. You won't be to blame. See? See what I mean, Chief? You've waited this long, thousands and thousands of years. What harm is there waiting a little longer? Give them a chance. Maybe they'll get to work and live together in peace. Everything will straighten itself out, and it'll be the way you want it to be. What was that, Chief? Oh. Then I won't have to blow the horn? I'm glad you changed your mind. Well, I'd like to come back now, Chief. I'd like to see you and Elizabeth and Horatio, and I'd even like to see Mr. Beethoven, too, even though he does holler at me all the time. From now on, I'm going to practice real hard and make him proud of me. Thanks, Chief. I'll leave right now.
Going down, mister?
Yeah?
Going down?
No, thank you. Up.
From the Ford Theater in Hollywood, you have just heard Mr. Jack Benny starring in The Horn Blows at Midnight. Tonight's version for listening was prepared by Hugh Wedlock and Howard Snyder, and the original musical score was composed and conducted by Cy Feuer. The Ford Theater, a full hour of dramatic entertainment, is brought to you every Friday by the Ford Motor Company, builder of Lincoln and Mercury cars, Ford trucks and farm tractors, and the new 1949 Ford car, officially chosen as the fashion car of the year. It's Ford for the new look in styling, and it's Ford for the new feel in driving. Drive a Ford and feel the difference. Now again, Mr. Markle.
May a director identify the principals in our cast tonight? In the foreground...
The chief.
...was played, of course, by Mr. Claude Rains, who will soon be seen in the Hal Wallace production, Rope of Sand.
Elizabeth?
Was played by Mercedes McCambridge.
Angelique.
Was Anne Whitfield.
Angelique's mother?
Was played by Jeanette Nolan.
Mrs. Watson.
Was Jane Morgan.
Mr. Beethoven.
Was Hans Conried.
Jerry. And Johnny.
Were played by Jerry Farber and Johnny McGovern. Actively assisting were Paul McVeigh, Miriam Wolfe, Eddie Marr, Joseph Kearns, Jay Novello, Julian Upton, Sidney Miller, Herb Vigran, Byron Kane, and Shirley Mitchell. Anybody else?
Yes, Nathaniel.
Was played by Jack Benny. Jack, I've got a confession to make.
What is it, Fletcher?
After all the kidding we did on your program about The Horn Blows at Midnight, I have to admit now that I never saw the picture.
You didn't?
I just couldn't bring myself to walk into the theater.
Why?
It's a complex I have, Jack, the fear of being alone.
Oh. Well, anyway, Fletcher, I want to tell you it was really nice doing this show for you tonight, and I promise you one thing. If I ever make another bad picture, you can have first crack at it.
Thank you, Jack. By the way, just one more question before I give you your check.
Oh, the check. Yes. It slipped my mind.
Get your hand out of my pocket.
Oh. Yes, excuse me. What is it you wanted to ask me, Fletcher?
Well, you always kid so much about your age. Tell me, Jack, and be on the level this time. How old are you, really?
Fletcher, I'm 39. So long, Fletcher.
Goodbye, Jack, and see you again. We'll be listening to your regular program on CBS this coming Sunday night, when Mr. and Mrs. Ronald Coleman will be your guests. Now it's to next week. Next week on the Ford Theater, we're going to have a story with music. Our star is Mr. Bing Crosby, and our story is one of his most recent films, Welcome Stranger. It's a pleasant portrait of a young doctor who goes to a small New England town so that the local physician can take his first vacation and then suddenly find himself an unwelcome stranger. We're very happy to have with Mr. Crosby Mr. Barry Fitzgerald playing his original role, and we'll be welcoming back Miss Ann Blythe for a return visit. We hope you'll be with us. And now until next week, until Bing Crosby, Ann Blythe, and Barry Fitzgerald in Welcome Stranger, this is Fletcher Markle with a good night and thank you from all of us in the Ford Theater.
The Horn Blows at Midnight was presented through the courtesy of Warner Brothers, producers of the Academy-nominated Johnny Belinda, starring Jane Wyman and Lou Ayres. The Ford Motor Company invites you to join us again next week at this hour to hear Bing Crosby, Barry Fitzgerald, and Ann Blythe starring in Welcome Stranger. This is Frank Martin speaking. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
And there you have it, 75 years ago, March 4th, 1949. So what did you think of The Horn Blows at Midnight? Some people have said that the radio production from the Ford Theater from 75 years ago, March 4th, 1949, was better than the picture. But you be the judge. The picture's out there and it's available. And see what you think. All righty, we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to get to the new Edgar Bergen Hour with Charlie McCarthy, and that was 68 years ago, March 4th, 1956. But first, these messages.
Civil defense is common sense. This is Fred McMurray. Home shelters can be built for as little as $100. Simple plans for building inexpensive home shelters are available free from your Civil Defense office. Ask for a copy of the Family Fallout Shelter booklet.
Before we get to Edgar and Charlie and the crew tomorrow, we're going to head back to crime with an episode of The Whistler, an episode of Calling All Cars, Did Justice Triumph, Yours Truly, Johnny Dollar, and an episode of Lum and Abner. That's coming up on our Tuesday program. But let's get back to our Monday show here. And by the way, anytime, check out our webpage, classicradio.stream. Would love to have you do it. Let's get to the new Edgar Bergen Hour with Charlie McCarthy. This goes back 68 years to March 4th, 1956.
From Hollywood, it's the new Edgar Bergen Hour with Charlie McCarthy.
I'll clip you there, Gazelle. I'll mow you down.
It's Sunday night, and time again transcribed for Edgar Bergen and Charlie McCarthy with Mortimer Snerd, Effie Clinker, Carol Richards, Ray Noble, Jack Kirkwood, Bill Lee, Hans Connery, the Mellow Men, yours truly, John Heaston, and our special guest, author of many humorous books, Richard Armour. Now, here are the stars of our show, Edgar Bergen and Charlie McCarthy.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And now we interrupt this program for a brief commercial.
Wait a minute, Charlie. What do you mean a brief commercial?
Before you make out your income tax, consult Charlie McCarthy, income taxidermist.
Taxidermist?
Yeah. And friends, don't file your tax. Let McCarthy chisel it.
All right. You're going to set yourself up now as a tax consultant.
That's right, boy. Yeah. Why be up the creek, folks, when with my help you can be up the river?
Yeah. But this idea of setting yourself up as an income tax consultant is ridiculous.
Well, that is your opinion, maybe.
You don't know the first thing about it. For instance, tell me, what is a dependent?
A dependent, yes. Boy, is he sticking his neck out. Yes. I repeat, what is a dependent? A dependent is a bald Swede with moving lips. All right. Oh, I hated to do it, but he made me. Yeah.
I'm a taxpayer. I want to pay the government every cent that's coming to them. I enjoy paying my tax.
Lie down on the couch.
Lie down on a couch?
Yeah, you don't need a tax man. You need a psychiatrist.
I say, hello, chaps.
Ray, you're just the fellow I want to see.
Yeah?
You must have a tax problem. After all, you're English.
Well, I hope so. But I say, if I went, I'd feel silly walking about with this ridiculous accent.
Yes. Well, it certainly isn't cowboy style at all, no. But, Ray, what about your taxes?
Oh, well, old chap, I merely went down to the tax bureau and made out my report. I have to pay the government $800,000.
$800,000?
Well, of course, I must admit I cheated just a little.
You did?
Yes. Oh, I copied from the chap in front of me, you see. Oh. Yes, I'm now the president of the Santa Fe Railroad. Goodbye, old top.
Yeah. Goodbye, old yo-yo.
Yeah. Now, Charlie, I hope that you'll give up this whole idea of becoming a tax consultant.
Nothing doing, Bergen. I've already hung out my sign.
Yes.
I'm in business. Results. That must be a client. Oh, it's my first tax report. I'm be juggling with my client to the Alcatraz walls.
Hello, Charlie.
Why, Carol Richards.
Charlie, I saw your sign outside, and I really need help with my taxes.
My first client, and so gorgeous.
Oh, no, I must look a sight. You know, I was so concerned about my tax report that when I rushed out of the house, I just threw myself together.
Oh, did you? Well, don't worry. Everything sure landed in the right places. Come into my arms, Carol, baby.
I thought you were a tax consultant.
Yeah, I am. Withholding, that is.
Please, I don't have much time. Now, let's get down to business.
First, we'll figure out your deductions. Now, tell me, do you use lipstick?
Well, can you take that off?
I can try, dearie. You walk right into them, don't you, Daryl?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go again. Must you kiss every girl you meet? Don't you ever get tired?
Tired but happy.
Yeah.
Charlie, the form?
Yeah, how about that? Oh, the form, yeah. Well, now, while I'm figuring out your tax, why don't you get me in the mood with a song?
Well, how about love and marriage?
Go ahead, that's deductible.
Love and marriage, go together like a horse and carriage. This I tell you, brother, you can't have one without the other. Love and marriage, it's an institute you can't disparage. Ask the local gentry, and they will say it's elementary. Try to separate them. It's an illusion. Try, and you will only come to this conclusion. Love and marriage, go together like a horse and carriage. Dad was told by Mother, you can't have one, you can't have none, you can't have one without the other.
Love and marriage,
go together like a horse and carriage. This I tell you, brother, you can't have one without the other. It's an institute you can't
an illusion.
Just an illusion.
Try, 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 and you will only come
To the one and only possible conclusion.
love and marriage, love and marriage. Go together like the horse and carriage. Dad was told by Mother, you can't have one.
You can't have none.
You can't have one without the other.
If you wanna have the one, you gotta have the other.
Well, now I've almost finished with your tax report, Carol. Now let me see. Item 9, income or loss from partnerships, syndicates, or pools. Lose much at pool, dearie?
I don't play pool.
You don't play pool. Well, I'll tell you. We'll put down that you lost $1.85.
Charlie, that's illegal. We can't do that. Do you know what would happen if we tried to send this in?
No.
The entire machinery of the government would swing into action.
Yeah.
Accountants, lawyers, T-men, G-men.
You mean for just a lousy $1.85?
Charlie, nothing escapes the government.
Oh?
Why, if we sent in a tax report like this, we'd be tracked down. Hunted. You and I, criminals. Wanted. Both of us, fugitives from justice.
Yeah, hello. Department of Internal Revenue. Special Agent Bergen talking. What? A new lead on the Charlie McCarthy Carol Richards case? Oh, this is too big for me. I'll give it to you, Chief.
Thanks, Bergen. We've been trailing those two for 5 years about that $1.85. Hello? What? You're calling from Alaska? For weeks you've been following a man and a woman? What's that? It turned out to be two men. Well, those fur coats will fool anybody. What, it fooled them too? They're engaged? Well, you keep after McCarthy and Richards. No, it's not for the honor of the department. It's the $1.85. Goodbye.
Chief, we just got a flash on the teletype. McCarthy and Richards were last seen in Mexico.
Okay, then. Let's go.
Oh, Charlie, I'm sick of this. Here we are cowering in this little Mexican hut.
Yeah, true, but at least we're safe. We're safe. They'll never find us in Mexico. We've covered our trail, altered our fingerprints, worn disguises for 2 years. They'll never find us here. Uh-oh, somebody goofed.
I followed you all the way to Mexico. At last I had you. You're McCarthy and Richards, aren't you?
Carol, make with the disguise.
Senor, you are wrong like gee whizzes. I am just a poor little Mexican cucaracha. And this fellow here, she is my brother.
Your brother?
See?
See, we also have another brother.
What's his name?
Me. He was born before me.
Well, how come you're named after the letters of the alphabet?
Oh, senor, we had so many kids, we ran out of names.
Oh.
Oh, he's my other sister.
Now, there's something fishy about the both of you.
Who?
You.
Daddy's another brother.
Oh.
No, that is my sister. Oh.
No, just a second, you two. I happen to be from the FBI.
The what, senor?
FBI.
Those are the tree plants.
Oh, brother.
I'm two sisters.
Now, I've had enough.
That's what my mother said.
Now, if you're really Mexicans, what do you do for a living?
We have a tamale factory, senor.
Oh, si, senor. You will find our tamales advertised in Life.
But we are now out of business.
How come?
They found some life in one of our tamales.
Well, I guess you're not the two I'm looking for. But if you ever come across them, report it immediately to Washington.
Washington?
D.C.
D.C., those are the twins.
No, I'm kidding. Clinker talking. Yes, Agent Bergen. You spotted McCarthy and Richards in a little Parisian dive? I'll be right over. Goodbye. Hello, Bergen. Where'd you get this information?
I got this from Limey Noble, the international informer. That's him over there.
Never mind. I see McCarthy and Richards at that back table.
Carol, they've caught up with us again. Make another disguise.
Well, we've got you at last. Charlie McCarthy and Carol Richards.
Carol Richards. That is very funny. You're talking to Countess Publitsky or Chichornia Welga boatman.
Vulgar boat? Who's this with you? One of the oars?
Oh, Dropdedsky. Let me produce myself. I am the Countess's brother, Sasha.
Sasha?
Yasha.
You know, this routine sounds familiar. Brother and sister, huh?
Da, Sasha. Remember, Mama, her cooking.
Oh, da. I remember Mama, her cooking.
Remember her Borch with Kurtoflagen Pierogen und der Schaschlik Wurten und Bupplekoffen mit Kreppwalgwogen.
Oh, yeah. I remember Papa.
Papa?
That was what killed him.
He almost killed me.
That doesn't sound like Russian cooking. It sounds more like a menu from the UN.
UN? Those are the twin brothers. Yeah, I think.
Now, I have a feeling I'm being duped.
What, sir?
Duped. D-U-P-E-D.
Those are the quintuplets.
I say, half a moment, chaps. I'm Stool Partridge Noble. I can tell you who these two are.
Now, watch out there, Limey. I got a gun.
They are...
I had to do it.
They are...
Quick, man, who are they?
Sorry, old man, I can't really tell you.
Why not?
Dead, you know.
Take a dashboard. Let's get out of here.
Oh, Charlie, I'm out of breath. I can't go on. I'm tired of it all.
Well, I am too, but we got to finish this sketch, you know. Why don't you just rest a minute while the mellow men sing June is busting out all over from Carousel.
June is busting out all over the meadow and the hill. But they're busting out of bushes and the romping river pushes every little wheel that will beside a mill. June is busting out all over. The feeling is getting so intense that the young Virginia creepers have been hugging the beekeepers out of all the morning glories on the fence. Because it's June. Just because it's June. March went out like a lion, whipping up the water in the bay. Then April cried and stepped aside, and along came pretty little May. May was full of promises, but she didn't keep 'em quick enough for some. And the crowd of doubting Thomases was predicting that the summer'd never come. But it's coming, by gum, you can feel it come. You can feel it in your heart, you can see it on the ground. You can hear it in the trees, you can smell it in the breeze. Look around, look around, look around. June is busting out all over the meadow and the hill. But they're busting just because it's June. Just because it's June. Just because it's June, June, June.
Still no trace of those two fugitives. Special Agent Bergen, things look bad. We've scoured the countryside. We're running out of old Dutch cleanser. Our last hope is this farmhouse. Let's go in and question the farmer.
Oh, I milk cows a bushel and a peck, oh, a bushel and a peck, and the cow's an awful wreck.
Mister, we'd like to talk to you. We're Internal Revenue man.
Internal Revenue. Well, why talk to me? There's nothing wrong with my internals.
You don't understand? We're T-men.
Now, see here, farmer, what's your name?
My name, sir, is, well, now, let's see now. I know it as well as I know my own name.
Your name, it should be simple.
Well, that's what everybody calls me.
Never mind. Have you noticed anything strange around your farm?
Oh, yes, come to think of it, I have. One of my roosters laid an egg.
Oh, no, this can't be.
Well, now, that's what my rooster said, too. Gave me quite an argument.
I think there are some fugitives hiding around here.
You do?
Yes. Have you heard any peculiar noises lately?
Well, only in my head.
I see.
No, I mean, besides yourself, have you seen anyone else around here?
Well, now, let me see. Let's see now. Well, there was, well, no, that wasn't so peculiar. What was the query, mister?
Does your mind always go wandering off like that?
Yeah, that's the way it goes.
That's the way it goes.
To return to the question, have you seen any people around the farm?
Well, I seen one, sir.
Was it a male or a female?
Well, it would almost have to be.
Well, yes, of course.
Was this person tall or short?
Yes, sir. Yes. He was tall on one end and short on the other.
How can he be both tall and short?
Well, he takes turns.
Oh, we must have a description. Eyes?
Yeah. Two, as a matter of fact.
Color of eyes?
Flesh.
Flesh?
Yeah, they was shut. Oh,
Now, look, one of the persons we're looking for is a girl. Have you seen a girl?
No.
Well, don't you know what a girl is when you see one?
No. That's one thing the almanac don't tell you about.
No, think hard. Have you seen a girl around the place?
Well, let's see. Yeah.
Would you call her dark?
No, I don't think I would, no.
Would you call her light?
No, I would.
Well, what would you call her?
I call her Bessie. I see. She's my cow.
Oh, your cow? It's no use.
I say, half a moment, chap. Tool Pheasant Noble reporting. I can tell you where the fugitives are. They're...
Now, wait a minute, Noble. You were shot. You're dead.
Yes. Keep forgetting. Roger, over.
Come on, Special Agent Bergen. Wherever they are, we'll find them.
Oh, Charlie, this is as low as we can sink. The east side of London.
Yes, here is where you'll find the dregs of the gutter, the flotsam and the jetsam of the city, the backwash of humanity.
Somebody call me, boy?
Who are you?
I'm Crooked Kirkwood, head of the International Thieves and Murderers Benevolent Association.
Oh,
Fine organization. This week we're giving blood to the Red Cross.
Oh, that's very generous of you.
Oh, I don't know. It's not ours.
Please, you've got to help us hide. We're in trouble.
Well, I'll get you a place to hide if you'll give me a little kiss.
You mean you take advantage of me just because I'm desperate, helpless, at your mercy?
Yeah. Aren't those the ideal conditions?
Now, please, sir, you just got to let us hide out here. That's
Well, all right.
Yeah.
I'll let you hide in one of our back rooms. It'll cost you $1,000 a week.
1,000? Does that include board?
You've got the board with you.
Why, you lump-lap, you.
Oh, don't make fun of my build, boy. When it comes to physiques, I got it all over you.
Take off your girdle and you've got it all over everybody.
Honestly, $1,000 a week for a room in this dive.
Well, do you want the room or don't you? It has a kitchen with a combination garbage disposal unit and an automatic dishwasher. Of course, the wires are crossed.
What does that mean?
Well, it'll break your dishes, but you'll have the cleanest garbage in town.
Well, we'll take the room. At least we're safe here. They will never find us here.
Oh, yes, safe at last. Safe behind these doors.
Yes, safe that somebody goofed again.
Well, I caught up with you this time. Charlie McCarthy and Carol Richards.
Charlie McCarthy and Carol Richards. Faith and Begorra, never heard of them. Faith and Begorra, Faith and Begorra.
That's right. She's Faith and I'm Begorra. Me Faith.
I could have sworn you were Bridie Murphy.
No.
Look, I followed you two all the way from CBS.
What did you say, lad?
I say I followed you all the way from CBS.
Oh, those are the triplets.
At last I've got you. This time I know you're Charlie McCarthy and Carol Richards. You just gotta be.
Oh, we give up. You've caught us. We'll pay you the $1.85.
Pay us?
Yeah, what's wrong?
Well, you don't owe us the $1.85. We owe it to you. Here's your refund.
Oh, no!
The Edgar Bergen Hour, transcribed with Charlie McCarthy, Mortimer Snerd, Carol Richards, Jack Kirkwood, the Mellow Men, and Ray Noble will be back after station identification.
And there's the first half of the new Edgar Bergen Hour with Charlie McCarthy from 68 years ago, March 4th, 1956. We'll have the conclusion of that program after I once again ask you to come visit our webpage, classicradio.stream. Stream our shows, learn about building a classic radio collection of your own. You can find our social media links, merchandise to purchase there, or you can buy me a coffee. The Buy Me a Coffee money goes to help us acquire additional great classic collections and help take care of the expenses. We appreciate that much. That's at classicradio.stream. More of the new Edgar Bergen Hour with Charlie McCarthy, but first, these important messages.
Civil defense is common sense. Hi, this is Tony Bennett. Make sure you're prepared if a nuclear attack ever comes.
Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, the conclusion of the new Edgar Bergen Hour with Charlie McCarthy, 68 years ago, March 4th, 1956.
From Hollywood, it's the new Edgar Bergen Hour with Charlie McCarthy, Mortimer Snerd, Carol Richards, Jack Kirkwood, the Mellow Man, Ray Noble, and yours truly, John Heaston. It is time now for our women's department. And it is my pleasure to present our guest speaker for the evening. Here she is, that girl has been, Miss Effie Clinker.
Hello, everybody.
I say, Effie, old girl, you don't look so good if I do say so myself.
Well, you see, last night I was dancing at the Lonely Heartburn Club, you know. And I sort of sprained my sacro-crackerjack.
You what?
Silly acrobat.
No.
My sacred Cadillac.
Yes. Sacroiliac.
That's the one.
Yes.
I was all around it.
Yes.
Yes, it was just awful, Mr. Noble. Did you ever throw your sacro thingamabob out?
No, I mean, why should I throw it out? I'm not through with it yet.
No. If he wasn't a man, I'd hate him.
Well, you really don't look at all well, Effie.
Well, now, don't get me all killed here.
No. Do you have any other ailments?
Oh, goodness, yes. I'm just loaded with misery.
Yes. For instance?
Yes, that too, yes. Last week, my floating rib ran aground.
It did.
And my hay fever. That's nothing to be sneezed at.
No, I can imagine that.
Let's face it. I have reached the age where no matter what direction I spell natures, it doesn't do me any good.
Well, maybe you need some vitamins, Effie, to build up your resistance.
Oh, you silly boy. Who wants to resist? Why don't you try?
All right.
No, Effie, really, personally, I think everybody should take vitamins.
That's an interesting observation.
Oh, I do really,
yes.
yes.
You seem to be quite sold on them.
Oh, vitamins, very good, all
Do you think they do give good results then?
Oh, positively, yes. Oh, yes. My uncle took vitamins for years. And let me tell you, he died in the pink of condition.
Yes,
I wish he'd join his uncle.
No, I'm afraid there's not a chance of that, old girl. Why, I'm so healthy, it's sickening.
Yes. Well, I've got news for you, Ray.
Uh-huh.
If anybody tells you you're looking good, slug 'em.
No. But look here, look. Now, my doctor says I'm a perfect specimen.
Yes, you are, but of what?
Oh, no. Well, one thing I know for sure, one's health depends on one's teeth an awful lot.
There's a lot in that.
Oh, teeth, very important.
Lots in that.
Oh, yes. Last year, my sister failed to see her dentist twice a year, and last night she was rushed to the hospital, old boy.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yes.
Oh, that's bad. What for?
Well, she's having a baby.
Oh, I
wonder where I could get some anti-noble shots.
All right. Now, that's going too far, Effie. And now many of our listeners have been writing in asking for your views on health. And I think it'd be nice if you could answer some of their questions.
Yes. Well, shoot the query to me, dearie.
All right, I'll shoot the query. Here is the first letter.
Read it.
Well, it says, what is the best way to get rid of a little wart?
Divorce him.
No. Another listener writes, Dear Miss Clinker, what should I do about the ringing in my ears?
Answer it, you dope.
No. Here's another letter. My hair keeps falling out. Will it ever stop?
Yes, it will when it reaches the floor.
Yeah.
Are you sure you didn't send that 180 boy?
No. Now, this listener writes, what's good for a stinking headache?
Chlorophyll aspirin.
Dear Miss Clinker.
That's me.
Yes. What's the best way to get rid of a constant pain in the neck?
Send her home to mother.
Yeah. Now, this letter reads, as I get older, more and more, I get a strange dizziness in my head. What should I do?
Well, I'd say stay off your head for a couple of weeks.
Yes. Well, now our time is up.
Well, that's a nice direction.
Yes. Do you have any parting advice for our audience?
Yes, I do. No matter how old you are, girls, keep your chins up and your girdle tight. Good.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, we bring you the voice that was so exciting on Gordon Jenkins' record of 7 Dreams. Here he is, one of the mellow men, stepping forth into the solo spotlight, Bill Lee singing Lullaby in Birdland. Lullaby of Birdland, that's what I always hear when you sigh. Never in my wordland could there be ways to reveal in a phrase how I feel. Have you ever heard 2 turtle doves, bill and coo, when they love? That's the kind of magic music we make with our lips when we kiss. And there's a weepy old willow, he really knows how to cry. That's how I'd cry on my pillow if you should tell me farewell and goodbye. Lullaby of Birdland, whisper low, kiss me sweet, and we'll go flying high in Birdland, high in the sky up above, all because we're in love. That's how I cry on my pillow. If you should tell me farewell and goodbye, lullaby of Birdland, whisper low, kiss me sweet, and we'll go flying high to Birdland, high in the sky up above. We're flying high in Birdland, happy little Birdland, all because we're in love. And now, ladies and gentlemen, our Meet the People department. We are indeed fortunate in having as our guest tonight one of America's leading writers of humorous light verse and prose. His work has appeared in the New Yorker, Saturday Evening Post, Esquire, Collier's, Reader's Digest, and many other magazines. And 2 of his recent books, It All Started with Columbus and It All Started with Europa, have been hailed as humor classics and were recent national bestsellers. At present, he is professor of English at Scripps College in Claremont, California. Here he is, Dr. Richard Armour.
Dr. Armour, we're very happy to have you as our guest this evening, and it isn't often we get to welcome a writer of humor whose books keep popping up in the national bestseller list.
Well, won't you do me a favor, Edgar, and just so I'll know I'm out of the classroom, drop that doctor business. You know, I don't operate except on words.
I see. Well, having read some of your books, I know that you're quite an operator with them. But that's to be expected with your scholastic background. A Ph.D. from Harvard, professor of English in various colleges and universities. Oh, and I can't forget, of course, that you once taught at my alma mater, Northwestern University.
Well, yes, but don't hold those things against me. It's true I do teach 5 days a week, but I write every day. And by the way, Edgar, you said that you've read some of my books. I wonder if you ever bought one, or you just take them from the library and forget to return them?
I have a rental card. What does your family think about all this activity, especially your writing?
Well, my children, now that they are 12 and 14 and beginning to be able to read, like almost everything I write, especially when they're about to ask for something I know they shouldn't have.
Now, your wife approves, undoubtedly, doesn't she, of your writing?
No. She usually dislikes everything I write and tells me so.
Oh.
I'd have quit writing years ago if I'd listened to her. She's an excellent critic.
I guess you had to temper it with that if you want to go home tonight. Humorists, I've heard, like big audience, so perhaps it's a mistake to read to your wife, privately in your nice, quiet studio at home. That's where your mistake is.
Well, did you say quiet?
Yeah.
She's usually vacuuming when I want to read something to her. And, when we first married, she turned the vacuum cleaner off when I read. Now, sometimes she turns it off now, but it's only because she's finished a room or at the end of the cord.
Well, that's one way of getting a wife to clean the house, anyway. Maybe your better half doesn't take kindly to such famous verses of yours as this one. Middle age is a time of life a man first notices in his wife.
Well, you could be right, Edgar. The satirist, I find, is a misunderstood man. He is thought to dislike the very things he makes fun of.
Well, isn't that the general idea?
No, it's quite the contrary. But I've had neighbors who were unfamiliar with this simple truth, who felt so sorry for my wife that they stopped speaking to me, and I wasn't picking up any information.
But you still picked up enough to write such a delightful book as It All Started with Columbus and It All Started with Europa, both of which made the bestseller list. Pretty good.
Well, yes, if briefly, but Europa was replaced when Harry S. Truman's book came out recently.
Oh.
I think ex-presidents are unfair competition.
Yes, I think so. You're lucky you don't play the piano, then. Richard, what will be the subject that you'll hit in your next book?
Well, it will be a completely unrestrained and rather wicked history of women, called It All Started with Eve, coming out next fall.
By the way, Richard, are you a good judge of your own writing? For instance, what do you consider the funniest thing you ever wrote?
Well, that's a tough one to answer. I suppose that should be judged by my readers and not me. But I'm least proud, I think, of some of the light verse that seems most popular. For instance, that goat feast, why reeks the goat on yonder hill, who seems to dote on chlorophyll.
Yes.
But, I happen to like the things I'm working on at the moment, and so just now I like these rather absurd, crazy like a fox histories.
Oh, yes, yes. Well, full of epigrams, such as the one about the Greek statue. I remember that one. You wrote, and I quote, of course, the art of wearing a fig leaf without suspenders was lost with the Greeks.
That was before Scotch tape, too.
Yeah. You think maybe the fig leaf will come back with the age of Scotch tape?
Good. For summer wear.
The bikini bathing suit hasn't far to go, has it? No. And then there's one writing about the Middle Ages, I remember. One of the best things about being a monk was that you could slop around all day in your bathrobe.
Well, that could be, too.
And here's one I like in your European history about Cleopatra. If there's a moral to her story, it is that a queen can get only so far in a reclining position.
Edgar, more reclining than declining, I'd say. And those Nubian slaves, those huge slaves who kept flies off her by waving those ostrich plumes, that was probably the first instance of shooting the breeze. Maybe they were the members of the first fan club.
Yeah, you could go. Did I hear someone turn on the vacuum cleaner? Richard, when you get up to more modern history, I like your business about Stalin and Lenin working hand in glove in order not to leave fingerprints. That's a smooth one. Or in your American history, Benjamin Franklin was self-educated, which means that he was too poor to go to school and therefore got a good education.
Well, Edgar, one of my so-called history books is dedicated in these words to history students and history teachers who for generations have made each other equally unhappy.
Richard, how do you go about writing a funny book? Some people claim that writing is a combination of inspiration and perspiration.
Well, I'm usually working against deadlines, and I'd add still another word, desperation.
Yes, I think so.
The seat of my inspiration is usually approximately where I apply the seat of my pants to the chair in front of the typewriter. I find ideas come from everywhere, and if they don't come, I go out and get them. Frequently from newspapers, which I think offer a good reflection of humanity. Now, if I were writing about dogs, assuming dogs are my readers, I would write about what interests dogs.
Yeah.
Lamp posts, fire plugs, other dogs.
Other dogs, yes.
I think it's people, though, I'm writing for.
You know, and now as a professor of English, you've no doubt studied this question of comedy very seriously. Professor, maybe you've even discovered what sends audiences into hysterical laughter.
Well, if I knew, I'd tell you, and I know you'd appreciate it. But
and I'd use it.
But I think that just as there are some kinds of tragedy that are too deep for tears, I think also there are some types of comedy that go beyond laughter. In other words, I think it's possible that you might have a response of silent appreciation.
Well, do you mean then that maybe some of the comedy I do here is sometimes, we had a few jokes this evening, that they are so beautiful, so subtle, that they deserve silent admiration?
I'd like to think that, yes, I would. Wouldn't it be encouraging if we could?
Would you like to go home and think it over and come back next week and answer?
Try for the 64,000.
Yeah. Well, we like to think so, too. There's one thing you never can be quite sure of what the jokes will do.
After all, the ability to laugh, you know, is a human characteristic. In fact, it's one of the few sure distinctions between man and the animals. There may be others. However, I think the ability to laugh may also be one of the distinctions between free people and slaves. Because I believe that for all their recent efforts to smile, the sourpuss is as much a symbol of the communists as the hammer and sickle.
Well, I'll applaud that. I certainly agree with you. And this is, I think he's right. I can speak on that with a little authority because I visited Leningrad and Moscow in 34 and in 35 or 6. I was on a cruise there. I had a free ride. I was an entertainer on the boat then. I went to the amusement park in Leningrad, and I saw nobody amused there. And on the streets, and in all of Leningrad and Moscow, they were healthy people, they were polite, but I never saw anybody laugh. I went to the marriage bureau, they had an argument there, they divorced and married at the same place. There was an argument, but there was no laughter. And
well, you wouldn't expect laughter in the marriage bureau, would you?
Well, there's a lot of answers for that, but there few that we can give. Well, now, Richard Armour, author of It All Started with Europa and many other books, thank you for being with us this evening and giving us both the serious and the light side of this very important business of being funny. Thank you again, and good night.
Thank you, Edgar. Good night to you.
Ladies and gentlemen, there are many singing groups in the music world, but we have our premium men, and they're mellow. Here they are, the Mellow Men, singing Bonnie Blue Gal.
Her arms are where I long to be, 'cause I love the Bonnie Blue Gal who gave her heart to me. I found a little honey who thrills me through and through. Roses in her golden hair and dressed in pretty blue. I'm always thinking of her wherever I may be, 'cause I love the Bonnie Blue Gal who gave her heart to me. Her arms are where I want to be, 'cause I love the Bonnie Blue Gal who gave her heart to me. No matter where I travel, she's with me all the way. Close to me, within my heart, through every night and day. As soon as I can make it, I'll hurry back to see my sweetheart, the Bonnie Blue Gal who gave her heart to me. Her arms are where I want to be, to me. I'm gonna quit my wandering, I'm gonna settle down and find a little house for us way out beyond the town. I'm gonna get us in there and throw away the key and love the bonny blue gal who gave her heart to me. Her arms are where I wanna be, 'cause I love the bonny blue gal who gave her heart to me. Her arms are where I wanna be, 'cause I love the bonny blue gal who gave her heart to me.
A new nasal spray?
Yes.
With an antibiotic?
Yes. Super Anahist Antibiotic Nasal Spray. It opens up your stopped up nose, dries up runny nose, relieves head cold miseries fast, lets you breathe again fast. It's the only nasal spray in the world with Fonzide, the amazing discovery that actually melts away mucus, stops gagging and coughing of postnasal drip, plus a special antibiotic ingredient that kills on contact dangerous germs known to cause nasal distress. Use Super Anahist Antibiotic Nasal Spray as directed. Safe for the entire family. For nasal distress, get Super Anahist Antibiotic Nasal Spray today.
Mothers, here's a great chest rub improvement. Super Anahist Rub, an amazing new combination of 4 ingredients so deep penetrating you can see it work. Super Anahist Rub brings a healthy red glow to the skin as it stimulates circulation, helps loosen phlegm, break up bronchial congestion of colds. Get Super Anahist Deep Penetrating Rub.
Now for the informative and constructive portion of our program, Professor Kirkwood's Do-It-Yourself Department.
Ladies and gentlemen, many men drink deep of the cup of knowledge. We now present a man whose nose is always wet. Professor Kirkwood.
You.
How are you tonight, Professor?
Oh, I'm in fine shape, except for my jungle ailment.
Oh, you have jungle ailment?
Yes, one of my pink elephants stepped on me.
Oh.
Watch it, clumsy. Get away. Go on, beat it.
They're crowding you, are they?
Yeah, he's a big one, that one. You know.
Yes, he was big, yes. Well, now, before he comes back, Professor, you'd better tell us what your subject is for us tonight.
Well, many of my loyal fans have been kind enough to write and ask me how to break into a house.
I see.
So tonight I'm offering the Kirkwood Do-It-Yourself Housebreaking Kit. Remember, folks, you can't go wrong with this kit. It has the good housebreaking seal of approval.
Professor, a housebreaking kit is preposterous. What will some men do for money?
Yes, indeed. That's right, boy. Some of them will even stoop to ventriloquism.
Now, Professor, to get back to your subject, I hope this isn't straining you.
No, I don't think it will.
I don't feel that we can advocate stealing on this show. We go pretty far, but this is a bit.
Come now, boy. Own up. How many dimes have you picked up feeling in pay phones?
Well,
How much of your silverware at home says Brown Derby on it?
Well,
Now, look me in the eye. How many jokes have you lifted?
Well, That will do, Professor. To encourage housebreaking.
Well, why are you making such a big case out of this? Well, it goes on every day. Why, do you know that in this city there's a man robbed every 2 hours?
Yeah, but look here, boy, how can he possibly afford it?
Somebody must have stolen this boy's brain. And believe me, it was petty larceny.
Professor, please, to get back to the subject.
Well, I'm just trying to show you that taking things that don't belong to you is all the vogue these days.
I can't believe that.
Well, I'll prove it to you. After all, just look at all the women who are hooking rugs.
Well,
doctors are always taking your pulse.
Yes, but this...
And do they ever give it back? No. Now, what about plastic surgeons? Aren't they always lifting faces?
No.
The pains are coming back.
This is awful, Professor. You are without a doubt the most unscrupulous, conniving, unprincipled, dishonest rogue I have ever met.
Oh, please. No hero worship, please.
I say, chaps, while we're on the subject, I was a hold-up man once. You, Ray?
Yes.
Well.
Oh, you see, my suspenders broke.
Yes.
I say, isn't that frightfully amusing?
Ray, do you know what I like about you?
No, what?
Nothing.
Now, to get back to you, Professor, have you always had these, shall we say, unusual tendencies?
Oh, yes, that's right, boy. Why, even as a boy, I ran away with the circus. But they made me put it back.
That was rather chintzy of them, wouldn't you? Yes. Professor, what would you say your first real job was?
Oh, let me see now. My first real job was breaking into a woman's lingerie shop.
Uh-huh.
I tell you, that was quite an undertaking.
I guess you'd say then that was your first slip. And I'm ashamed of myself for saying it. Me too.
I say, did they send you up for a two-way stretch?
Two-way stretch. I'd like to bustle you one right on the nose.
Get back to the subject, old chap. Look, just what does your housebreaking kit contain?
Oh, everything you need, boy.
Uh-huh.
First, it contains an almost new revolver I got from a widow. She'd only used it once. Then there's a can of glue in case you want to stick up a bank. Then each of my kits contain a bottle of I.W. Harper. Mm-hmm. That's for the second-story man who wants to get higher. Yeah. Those pains.
You deserve them, too. Now, perhaps you'd better just show us one of your housebreaking kits.
That's a good idea, boy. I got one right here on the table. Now, where is the cotton-picking thing? Well, how do you like that?
What's the matter, Professor?
Some sneaky, low-down, dirty crook stole it.
Good night. Folks, tonight the commercial is really a newscast because tonight we're going to bring to you news about the most exciting television sets ever built. New 1956 CBS television sets with all 9 of TV's most wanted advances. And here's John Heaton to give you the whole story.
Thanks, Edgar. And folks, television has really taken a giant step. And when you see the great new 1956 CBS television sets, you'll realize how far TV has come since you bought your present set. See new CBS robot tuning that changes channels automatically at the touch of a button. See new CBS remote control that lets you tune your set from your chair anywhere in the room. Hear the CBS choir of speakers with superb 3-speaker high-fidelity sound. And those are just a few of TV's 9 most wanted advances found only in the new CBS TV sets. CBS sets are made by a division of the Columbia Broadcasting System to give you more of the best than all the rest. And they're at your dealers right now, priced from $149.95. So make your next set a better set. Make it a CBS. And now here's Edgar Bergen.
It's time for another bit of sage advice from our rural philosopher, Mortimer. And here he is with Snurd's words for the birds.
Nether, I say nether, let grass grow under your feet. It tickles.
Thank you, Mortimer. And until next Sunday, good night, everyone.
Remember to listen to Edgar Bergen with Charlie McCarthy, Mortimer Snerd, Ray Noble, and the Hair Ensemble next Sunday at the same time. Tonight's Edgar Bergen Show with Jack Kirkwood, Carol Richards, Bill Lee, and the Mellow Men was produced and transcribed in Hollywood by Sam Pierce. Script by Cy Rose, Zeno Clinker, and Hilda Black. This is John Heaton speaking.
68 years ago, March 4th, 1956, the new Edgar Bergen Hour with Charlie McCarthy here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Coming up next, tomorrow, I want to mention tomorrow's show first. We'll have The Whistler and the Chinese Elephant Puzzle, an episode of Calling All Cars going back almost 90 years, talking about the undercover woman. Did Justice Triumph, a mutual show that was a delightful program, and an episode of yours truly, Johnny Dollar, and Lum and Abner. But up next, as we said, The Adventures of Archie Andrews.
Civil defense is common sense. This is Pat Boone. In case of enemy attack, you must know your warning signals. A steady blast of 3 to 5 minutes means tune your radio dial to 640 or 1240. A 3-minute wavering tone or a series of short blasts, take cover immediately.
And for more information on civil defense and what was going on in the era, try civildefensemuseum.com, civildefensemuseum.com. We'll wrap up this time around of Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox with an episode of The Adventures of Archie Andrews. This episode goes back 74 years, March 4th, 1950. And you think these episodes are hard to find, this episode, we couldn't even find Archie.
Hello?
Hello, Jughead. This is Archie. Come over right away. It's a matter of life or death.
Relax, Archie. Relax.
Yes, there he is again. The young civilians and readers of Archie Comics magazine know and love so well Archie Andrews and all his gang. And now for our weekly visit to Riverdale. It's Friday evening as we look in on the Andrews home. We find Mr. and Mrs. Andrews in the living room. Mrs. Andrews is sewing, and Mr. Andrews is reading his newspaper.
Mary.
Yes, dear.
What time is it?
Time? 5 minutes to 10.
Already? Oh, me. Oh, time sure flies. Mary, let's go to bed.
Bed? Fred, isn't it a little early to be going to bed?
I don't know, dear. Seems to me we've been up till midnight every night for weeks. It won't hurt any of us to get a good night's sleep for a change.
Well, I suppose you're right, dear. We have been staying up late. But, Fred, on second thought, perhaps you better wait for Archie to come home.
Archie, isn't he home yet?
No, dear. We've been sitting right here ever since dinner, and I didn't see him come in, did you?
No, not that I recall. And after the lecture I gave him yesterday, he promised me that hereafter he'd get to bed earlier. Mary, that boy is getting...
Fred, you know how boys are.
Oh, I know how I was when I was his age. When my father told me to get home earlier, George, I got home earlier. And no nonsense about it. Where did Archie go, anyway?
I haven't any idea. He just disappeared right after dinner.
Well, let's go to bed, Archie or no Archie.
Well, maybe you're right, dear. Oh, but Fred, would you like a little snack first?
Mary, that's not a bad idea. What's in the icebox?
Well, I have some cheese. Oh, for pity's sake, who can that be at this hour?
I'll get it.
All right.
Oh, good grief. Jughead.
What'd you expect, Cinderella?
No, Jughead, I certainly did not expect Cinderella. No, Cinderella. I mean, it's Jughead.
Jughead, well, what on earth are you doing here?
Oh, I was just passing by, Mrs. Andrews, and I saw your lights were still on, so I thought I'd come in and see if Archie was still up.
Still up? He isn't even home.
See, was he isn't?
No. Well, I thought he might be out with you someplace.
Not me. I haven't seen Archie all day.
You haven't?
Nope.
Well, isn't there a school dance or something tonight?
Nope.
Well, that's funny. Fred, where do you suppose Archie can be?
Oh, Mary, the boy probably went to a movie or something.
Nope. We've both seen every picture in town.
Really?
Yep.
He's probably over at Betty's house, or Veronica's.
Could be.
Fred, I don't like it.
Don't like what?
Archie's not being home.
Oh, Mary, I don't like it either. I told him to get home earlier.
Fred, I don't mean that. I mean there's something funny about nobody knowing where he is. I'm going to call Betty.
What? Oh, now, Mary, you can't go bothering Betty.
Fred, there's no harm in calling Betty. It isn't even 10 o'clock yet. and I can see all the lights on in her house.
All right, Mary, go ahead and call if you want to.
Operator, get me Riverdale 247, please. We'll both sleep better, dear, when we find out where he is.
Yes.
Hello?
Hello, Betty. This is Mrs. Andrews. I didn't wake you, did I?
Oh, no, Mrs. Andrews. I was in the shower.
Oh, I thought Archie might be there.
In the shower?
Well, no, Betty. I meant I thought perhaps he was at your house.
Oh, no, Mrs. Andrews. I haven't seen Archie all day.
Oh, you haven't?
No, is something wrong?
Well, nothing we know of, dear, but I don't know where Archie is.
Well, maybe he's at Jughead's house.
Well, I don't think so. Jughead's here, and he says he hasn't seen Archie all day.
Oh. Well, then there's only one other place he'd be.
Where's that?
Veronica's house.
Oh, well, maybe so, Betty. I'll call over there and ask.
Oh, he's there all right.
Well, I hope so. I'm sorry I disturbed you, dear.
Oh, no trouble, Mrs. Andrews. Bye.
Goodbye.
Mary, you see, I told you not to call Betty.
Fred, she didn't mind at all. But Archie isn't there.
Maybe he's at Veronica's.
Yes, that's what Betty said. I'll soon find out.
Oh, now, Mary, you're not going to call there, too.
Oh, Fred, I certainly am. Riverdale 318, please.
Mary, I don't...
Fred, I just want to know where he is.
Oh, me.
Hello, Veronica, this is Mrs. Andrews. I hope I didn't wake you.
Oh, no, Mrs. Andrews. We were just playing records and dancing.
Oh, thank goodness.
Beg pardon?
I didn't know where he was.
Beg pardon?
I'm glad to hear he's at your house.
Mrs. Andrews?
Yes?
I know it's none of my business, but why are you glad that Reggie Mantle's over at my house?
Oh, because I was beginning to get... Who?
Reggie Mantle.
Reggie Mantle? But where's Archie?
I'm sure I have no idea.
You mean he isn't at your house?
My goodness, I hope not. Not while Reggie's here.
Oh, dear. You mean you haven't seen him tonight?
I haven't seen him all day.
Oh, dear.
You sound upset, Mrs. Andrews. Is something wrong?
Well, no, Veronica, no. It's just that nobody seems to know where Archie is.
Have you tried Betty's house?
Yes, she thought he was at your house.
Oh. Well, how about Jughead's house?
No, he isn't there either.
Oh, well, my goodness, where can he be?
Well, I don't know, Veronica, but I suppose we'll find him.
I hope so.
So do I. Well, goodbye, Veronica. Thanks anyway.
That's all right. Bye, Mrs. Andrews.
Fred, he isn't there either.
All right, Mary, so he isn't there either. That's nothing to get excited about. Now, after all, Veronica's not the only girl in Riverdale.
As far as Archie's concerned, she is.
Fred, I'm getting worried.
Oh, now, Mary, just a minute. Now, there is absolutely no point to you worrying about this, dear.
Oh.
That boy is old enough to go where he pleases, when he pleases, without getting into trouble. And I'd like you to give me one good reason why you had to pick tonight to start worrying.
Well...
Stop being foolish, dear. There isn't a thing in the world to worry about.
Of course not. They always notify the next of kin.
Of course they do. Shut up.
Huh?
Don't talk that way.
I'm sorry.
All right. Now, Mary, don't you pay any attention to Jughead. I tell you, dear, there's nothing to worry about.
Sure.
Not a thing.
Sure. He had plenty of identification on him.
Please stop talking like that.
Gee, Mrs. Andrews, I'm just trying to cheer you up.
Well, don't. You cheer her up like that much longer, and she'll break down.
I'm sorry.
Now, let's stop all this nonsense. Now, Archie's been out until 10 o'clock at night before, dear, and he'll be out until 10 o'clock at night again. Now, I don't see any reason to start worrying.
Sure. Sometimes people are missing for days before they find the body.
Jughead, for the last time
Fred,
now.
That settles it.
Huh?
I am not going to sleep until we find that boy.
but
Jughead doesn't know where he is, Betty doesn't know, and Veronica doesn't know, and we don't know. And there's no dance or no movie that he'd go to. Fred, if that isn't reason enough to worry, I'd like to know what is.
But I...
Now, Fred, you and Jughead are going out to look for Archie right now, and I don't want you to come back until you've found him.
We'll find him, Mrs. Andrews. Dead or alive.
Jughead! Don't talk that way. Fred, go on now. Put your coat on.
Oh, me. All right, dear, all right. But, Jughead, the next time you come by our house and see the lights on, will you please let us know so we can turn them off?
Mr. Andrews, do you want me to call the police station while you check up on the hospitals?
Jughead, if you don't stop being so melodramatic, you're going to need a hospital.
Huh?
Now, we are not going to the police station or the hospital. We are going to the drugstore first. Unless I miss my guess, the only trouble Archie is having is getting the last sip out of a chocolate soda.
Gee, I never thought of the drugstore. I bet that's where Archie is.
Probably is. Come on, we take my car and... Oh, good grief.
What's the matter?
I just remembered. I meant to stop for gasoline on the way home, and I forgot all about it, and the gas tank is practically empty.
Gee whiz. Have you got enough left to get to a gas station?
Maybe if we coast down the hill.
Mr. Andrews, I got
How do
enough...
these things happen to me?
Mr. Andrews,
Just when I'm in a hurry, I have to worry about gasoline.
Mr. Andrews,
Well, what's the matter with you?
Nothing. But we don't have to take your car.
But if you think I'm going to walk all over this town, you're crazy.
Oh, I don't mean walk, Mr. Andrews. But Archie's jalopy is right here. Let's take that.
Archie's jalopy? Why, Younghead, I'm glad you thought of that. It's a fine idea. We'll go in that.
Sure. And don't forget, we already know something about Archie.
Yeah, what's that?
If Archie's been killed, it wasn't in an automobile accident. Okay, Mr. Andrews, I won't say another word.
I hated to make Fred go looking for Archie, but he's never just disappeared like this before. Oh, dear. Maybe that's news about Archie now.
Hello, Mrs. Andrews.
Betty, what are you doing here?
Well, after you called, Mrs. Andrews, I got to worrying about Archie, and I came over to see if everything is all right.
Oh, that's sweet of you, dear, but I don't know if everything's all right or not. Mr. Andrews just went out to look for Archie.
Golly, wasn't he at Veronica's house?
No, he wasn't. And Jughead says he and Archie have seen all the movies in town, and there's no dance or anything at the school tonight.
Well, golly, where could he be?
That's a question. That's what I'm getting so worried about.
Oh, please don't worry, Mrs. Andrews. There's nothing to worry about.
Well,
they say no news is good news.
Yes, I know, Betty, but I just seem to have a premonition that something terrible's happened.
Golly, you do?
Yes, Betty, I do.
Oh, golly, my Aunt Matilda had a premonition once.
She did?
She dreamt that my Uncle Oscar was going to die.
And did he?
Worse than that.
What?
He ran off with a tattooed lady in the circus.
Betty, you see, when people have premonitions, they usually turn out to be true. Now, that settles it. I'm going to call the police.
The police?
Yes, Archie's definitely missing, and I want them to find him before it's too late.
Too late for what?
I don't know. Operator, get me the police.
Oh, golly.
Hello? This is Mary Andrews of 317 Maple Street, and I want to report a missing person. Yes, it's my son. His name is Archie. Yes, Archie Andrews. Well, he's a high school student, about 5'7", and the last time I saw him, he was wearing gray slacks and a red bow tie and a black sweater with a big letter R on it. That's right. Anything else? Oh, yes. In all likelihood, he's driving his jalopy, an old wreck. There's only one like it in town.
Mr. Andrews?
What?
Maybe we would have been better off walking.
Don't be so silly. This jalopy is faster than walking.
Yeah, but when you walk, you don't feel so much like a milkshake.
Never mind, Jug. This was your idea, so stop complaining. Oh, there's the drugstore right down the block there.
Yeah, you better put on the brakes, Mr. Andrews.
With a full block to go?
You bet. I know this jalopy better than you do.
Jug, that's silly. Now watch. I'll stop this car right in front of that drugstore, or my name isn't Fred Andrews.
Hiya, Joe.
Yeah. Jug, don't be funny. I'll back up to the drugstore.
Mr. Andrews, you might miss it again. It'll be easier if I got out and walked back.
Oh, all right, Jughead. You look and see if Archie's in there, and I'll wait for you here.
Okay, Mr. Andrews. Be right back.
Don't stop to have any sodas now.
I won't.
Fine thing. Mary gets all upset over nothing. I have to go traipsing all over town in this old wreck looking for Archie when he's probably
Well, now, this looks interesting.
Oh. Hello, officer.
Hello.
Oh, I'm not parking here. I'm just...
Tell me something. Is this your car, mister?
My car? Well, no, as a matter of fact, it isn't my car.
I see. And do you happen to know whose car it is?
Well, yes, I do. It belongs to...
Well. And just what did you do with him?
Well, I took him down to the... Do with him? Do with who?
The youngster who owns this car.
Archie?
Oh, then you do know him.
Oh, yes, I've met him several times. Do I know him? Of course I know him.
And perhaps you can tell me where he is now.
I haven't the vaguest idea.
Oh, so you won't talk, eh?
Officer, look,
That's all I wanted to know. Now move over, mister, and start this jalopy. You and I are going to take a little trip down to headquarters.
Oh, but officer, I can't right now.
I said start this jalopy.
Yes, sir.
And don't you try any tricks.
Yes, sir. I mean, no, sir. But, officer, look, I'm sure you don't understand. If you only give me a chance, I can explain everything.
Mr. Andrews, I looked all over the drugstore and there wasn't a sign of Archie anywheres in there, and she was. Now there isn't a sign of Mr. Andrews either.
Oh, dear. Betty, I wish someone would call.
Golly, Mrs. Andrews, I wish you wouldn't be so nervous. They'd call if there was anything to tell you. You shouldn't worry so much. It's not good for you.
Oh, Betty, I can't help worrying.
Mrs. Andrews, suppose I make some hot tea. Maybe that would make you feel better.
Betty, the only thing that'll make me feel better is knowing where Archie is.
Well, let me make you some tea anyway, Mrs. Andrews. It'll just take me a minute.
Well, all right, dear. Oh, Betty's so sweet. How can I help worrying? They must have some news about Archie by now. Oh, dear. Hello? Hello?
Oh, hello, Mary. This is Fred.
Oh, Fred, where are you?
At the police station.
The police? Fred, what's he done?
What's who done?
Archie.
Well, Mary, I'm not here because of Archie.
You're not?
But I am here because of his jalopy.
What's the jalopy done?
Nothing. I got arrested for driving it. Some darn fool reported it stolen or something.
Oh, dear.
For Pete's sake, come down here and identify me right away, will you?
I'll be right there. Is your car here?
Yes, dear, but you better
I'll be there in 2 minutes. Bye.
No, but Mary, wait.
Oh, dear, I've never seen anything like this. I report Archie missing and they arrest Fred.
Here's the tea, Mrs. Andrews. Mrs. Andrews? Mrs. Andrews? Mrs. Andrews! Golly, now where did she go to? I knew she was acting funny, but I didn't think she...
Mrs. Andrews, Mr. Andrews just disappeared. I got out of the jalopy and went to the drugstore for a minute and... Oh, Betty.
Jughead, what are you doing here?
I'm looking for Mrs. Andrews. Where is she?
She just disappeared.
She what?
She disappeared right into thin air.
Boy, this is the disappearingest family I ever saw. When did this all happen?
Right after I said I'd go make her some tea.
See? Maybe you should have offered her some Ovaltine.
Jughead, don't be funny. I'm worried about her. She seems so upset.
Upset?
She kept pacing up and down and saying, "Why don't they call? Why don't they call?"
Gee, she's cracking up.
Jughead, don't talk that way.
Well, you never can tell. I'm reading a book right now about a woman who lost a child and went all to pieces.
Golly, Jughead, you don't think that
Could be. Look at it this way. Archie's missing. Mrs. Andrews is worried. She doesn't know what's happened to him. She waits and waits, hour after hour.
Oh, Jughead, it's only a few minutes.
Same thing. Her nerves are tense. She's worried. She's frightened. She's upset.
Yes?
She can't stand the waiting. The phone that won't ring. The empty house. Her son, her little darling baby boy is gone.
Yes?
And then what happens? What? You come in and offer her tea and boom, she snaps.
Oh, golly.
It's all too much for her. She's got to get out of the house. She's got to get away from here. She can't stand it.
Golly, Jughead, what'll we do?
I don't know. That's as far as I've gotten in the book.
Jughead, there is only one thing for us to do.
What's that?
Call the police to look for her and warn them that Mrs. Andrews isn't in her right mind.
Oh, I've never seen a night like this. Archie lost, Fred in jail, and everybody running around in circles. Oh, dear. Now, what's the matter with that motor? I can't... Oh, dear. Out of gas. Of all times, just when I'm in a hurry. Dear. Well, there's only one thing to do. I'll just have to go find a gas station and get some gas, that's all. Some Sometimes I wonder what that family of mine would do if I didn't take care of everything.
What does the police say about Mrs. Andrews, Betty?
Well, I gave them a description of her, Jughead, and they said they sent an alarm out right away.
Well, with so many of the Andrews family running around loose, the police ought to come up with at least one of them.
Jughead, this is no time to be funny. I'm really worried about her. Oh, golly, maybe that's her. Veronica!
Betty, what are you doing here?
Oh, that's a long story. What are you doing here?
Well, I just drove Reggie Mantle home, and I thought I'd drop by and see if they found Archie yet. Oh, hi, Joe.
Hi, Veronica.
Well, no, Veronica, they didn't.
My goodness, I wonder where he can be.
Well, we're looking for Mrs. Andrews now.
Mrs. Andrews?
Uh-huh, she disappeared.
And Mr. Andrews did, too.
Mr. Andrews?
Oh, golly, maybe they found somebody. Jug, you answer it.
I got it. Hello?
Jughead, is that you?
Yeah, is that you, Mr. Andrews?
Yes, where's my wife?
Gee whiz, how did you hear of it?
Hear of what?
You mean you don't know?
Don't know what?
Gee, maybe I better not tell you.
Better not tell me what?
It would only worry you.
Jug, look, I don't know what you're talking about, but if someone didn't get down here to identify me right away, they'll lock me up for the night.
Lock you up? Where are you?
At the police station.
Gee whiz, what did you do?
I didn't do anything, Jughead. It's just a mistake. And as soon as someone identifies me, they'll let me out.
Gee, Mr. Andrews, maybe you'd be better off making a clean breast of it.
What?
Sign a confession.
But Jug,
Turn state's evidence.
Jughead,
Throw yourself on the mercy of the court.
Jughead! For Pete's sake, cut that out.
Who, me?
Yes, you. Now, I tell you, I haven't done anything. Nothing at all. Even the police believe that, but they want someone to identify me for routine reasons. Now, do you understand?
Anything you say may be held against you.
Jughead, look. Quit playing lawyer and get someone down here to identify me.
Well, Mr. Andrews, Veronica's here, and she's got a car. We could send her down there.
Well, Jug, that's fine. I'm from Pete's. Now, tell her to get down here in a hurry, will you?
Okay, but remember, Mr. Andrews.
Remember what?
A man's innocent until he's proven guilty.
Jughead.
Okay, bye, Mr. Andrews.
Goodbye.
Jug, what happened?
I'm not sure, Betty. But, Veronica, you better go right down to the police station.
The police station?
Yeah, you gotta spring Mr. Andrews before he goes up the river. This mob's gotta stick together, see?
Now, I was sure there was a gas station on this street somewhere.
Just a minute there, lady. Just a minute.
Oh, Officer Good. I'm looking
What's
for...
your name?
Mary Andrews, but I'm looking for...
Well. Mary Andrews, is it?
Yes, officer, but I'm in a hurry right now.
Oh,
and I have
just what is the hurry?
I can't find a gas station.
Where did you lose it?
Right over here somewhere. Lose it? Officer, I didn't lose it. I'm trying to find a gas station because my car ran out of gas.
Now, that was most unfortunate. And just where were you going when your car ran out of gas?
Well, I was on the way to the police station.
How interesting. How very interesting. And exactly what were you going to do at the police station?
Get my husband out of jail.
Oh, really? Your husband now? And just what, may I ask, is he in for?
Well, I don't know, officer. He got arrested while he was looking for my son, who's missing.
Well, your son is missing, and your husband's in jail.
Yes.
And your car is out of gas.
Yes.
Don't call me officer. Call me Mr. Anthony.
What?
Now, madam, don't you get excited. It's not good for you in your condition.
But I tell you, I'm looking...
Keep calm, and everything's going to be all right.
Officer,
we'll take you
to...
home, and in the morning all these horrid thoughts will have vanished for the night.
But, officer, are you crazy?
Am I crazy? Am I crazy? You know, that's rather nice.
Officer, I tell you...
All right now, madam. You just come along with me, and I'll take you home where you have the very best of care.
But, officer, I don't want to go home. I have to go to the police station.
I know.
Officer, let go of my arm.
Golly, Jug, I wish somebody would call up or something.
Me too. I've never seen the phone in this house so quiet.
Betty, where's my wife?
Golly, Mr. Andrews.
Gee whiz, Mr. Andrews. How's it feel to be out?
Jughead, never mind your jokes and tell me what's happening around here.
I'm not sure we know, Mr. Andrews. What happened to you?
I got arrested for driving Archie's jalopy, and I still don't know why. And if Veronica here hadn't come down to the police station and identified me, I'd still be there.
Well, you took a lot of identifying, too.
Now, look, what is this Veronica tells me about Mrs. Andrews being missing?
Well, yes, you see, she...
Now what? Officer, you...
Sorry to bother you, mister, but does this lady live here?
Mary!
Fred, golly, Mrs. Andrews.
She-
My goodness.
Well, I thought you were missing.
She's got something missing. But just tell me, will you, whether she lives here or not?
Of course she does. She's my wife.
That's all I wanted to... Say, mister, haven't I seen you someplace before?
Now, listen.
Fred, how'd you get out of jail?
Now, Mary,
I thought so.
Officer,
You sound all right to me, Mrs. Andrews.
You broke out of jail.
Judge, will you please...
Right
Now,
out of jail.
Now, just a minute. Just 1 minute. Now, that's better. Now, listen to me, all of you. This nonsense has gone far enough. Too far, in fact.
I'll say it has.
Yes, Mr. Andrews. Yes, dear.
Uh-huh. An hour ago, I was ready to get to sleep. And then, just because my wife starts worrying about Archie, we get mixed up with policemen and jalopies and all sorts of things until I'm ready to go...
Stir crazy?
No, Jughead, and be quiet. Now, it's high time we straightened this out and decided where the dickens Archie is.
You mean your son is really missing?
He certainly is.
Yes, and I took his jalopy and got arrested for stealing it. Now, what I want to know is, who called the police?
Fred, I'm afraid I did.
Mary, you did?
When I told him to look for Archie, I told him to look for his jalopy.
Oh, fine. Mary, why on earth didn't you...
Fred, never mind now. I'm sorry. But what I want to know is who almost got me arrested. Golly, I guess I did, Mrs. Andrews. You did? Uh-huh. But why, Betty? Well, you see, I was worried about you anyway, and then when you ran out of the house, I decided I better call the police.
Oh, for pity's sake. So that's why this policeman stopped me.
Madam, do you mean that impossible story you told me was true?
It certainly was, officer.
Well, bless my soul. Well, now, madam, if you're not Daffy and your husband is not a jailbreaker, I have only one thing left to say to all of you. Good night, folks.
Well, good night, officer. Good night.
Good night.
Well, thank heavens we finally got things straightened out.
Yes, dear, but there's one thing you seem to forget.
Well, what's that, dear?
The thing that started all this. Where is Archie?
Oh, dear. Hasn't he turned up yet?
No, he hasn't. And, Mary, even I'm getting worried about him now.
What's all the noise?
Archie!
Where's
Oh, my goodness!
Archie, where the dickens have you been?
And what are you doing in your pajamas?
What do you think I'm doing? I've been in bed for 2 hours, but how am I supposed to sleep with all this noise?
But you mean to say you were up in bed? Oh,
The Andrews will be back in just a moment. Meanwhile, tell me, friends, are you saving for a rainy day? The best people are doing it, so it must be a good thing. Must pay off. So how about that? An emergency fund all saved away can make any dark day the future may have in store much easier to take. Especially when your emergency money is invested in United States savings bonds. That's right. Savings bonds issued by our own government and as safe as our government. They're one of the best places you can find for your savings because savings bonds make your money grow and grow. In only 10 years, every $3 you put in grows into $4. Every $300, $400. And maybe you didn't know it, but saving in savings bonds is just like rolling off a log. Yes, sir. You can join either of two plans that make saving as certain as the sun. If you're employed, join the payroll savings plan where you work. Now, if you're in business for yourself, you're a builder or a farmer or a contractor, join the bond-a-month plan, a free service where you bank. For future security, save in savings bonds now. And now back to the Andrews. It's later that night, and everything has been settled, and the family's gone to sleep.
Fred, answer to the phone.
Hello?
Mr. Andrews?
Yeah.
This is the police department. We finally found your son.
Good. You finally found my what?
Your son. We've got him down here at the police station. But he's in a very bad way. He keeps insisting his name is Jughead.
He keeps insisting his name is Jughead. I give up!
You've been listening to another chapter of The Adventures of Archie Andrews, written by Carl Jantel and based on the copyrighted feature appearing in Archie Comics magazine. Archie is played by Bob Hastings, Jughead by Harlan Stone. Mom and Dad Andrews are played by Alice Sherman and Arthur Cole. Veronica and Betty by Gloria Mann and Rosemary Rice. The policeman was Charles Irving, and this program is produced and directed by Kenneth McGregor. Listen next Saturday at this same time for more of the Merry Adventures of Archie Andrews. This is Dick Dudley wishing you all a very pleasant weekend. So long, everybody.
Programs. Get your programs here. Phil Harris, Frankie Remley, and Julius return tomorrow to worry lovely Alice Faye with their flair for trouble. Hear the Phil Harris-Alice Faye Show tomorrow on NBC. And later, hear Gertrude Lawrence starring in Lady in the Dark on Theater Guild on the Air. That's Phil Harris and Alice Faye and Theater Guild tomorrow on NBC. Hear the stars of tomorrow on Hollywood Star Theater on NBC.
It's always something, but no more Rosanna. An easy one for Bob Hastings. He had, he just had those few lines at the very end. The Adventures of Archie Andrews, 74 years ago, March 4th, 1950, here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Tomorrow, The Whistler, Calling All Cars to Justice Triumph. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar and Lum and Abner. Have yourself a great Monday and a great week ahead. We'll see you next time. Classicradio.stream, the webpage, and we'll see you mañana.